All right, Graham has dedicated a deck to playing mono blue, not tied, and I think that's kind of wonderful. Thank you for the deck donation, Graham. Let's check out this list. So you were playing Thran uh, Foundry, which is basically a Feldon's Cane, as your win condition. But you did say because clock considerations, we could switch up to Rainbow Free as a win condition. I like that. You also have like sort of a land package for win conditions as well. But let's look at this main deck. So we've got the one Rainbow Free, 4 accumulated knowledge, annul, 1 capsize, 4 counterspell, 3 dismiss. Love dismiss. I've been trying to figure out a way to get that into my deck. Dismiss is just wonderful. I actually own like some foil dismisses too. They're sweet looking. 2 exclude, targeting specifically creatures with exclude and drawing a card. I like that. Forbid. I like the synergy here with dismiss and exclude for forbid. That's great. And then we have 4 spike, 3 impulse, 2 mana leak, 1 to Fairy's Response. I like that as a spicy one of. We're rocking 4 Powder Keg, 2 Dust Bowl, 2 Fairy Conclave, 15 Islands. Gotta watch out for Boil. 4 Mishra's Factories, and 3 Quicksands. In the board, we've got the other 3 annuls. Blue Blast times 3, Dominate times 2, another Dust Bowl, 1, 2 Hydroblast, 2 Phyrexian Furnace, and 2 more Teferi's Response. This deck is sweet. I think your instinct is correct here. We do have to worry about time. So having Rainbow Free as your other win con, as opposed to just being like, I've just recycled my entire deck and you're going to lose soon. I think we can get there with the Manlands as well. So let's see how this works. Let's get in there and start bashing some heads in with this mono blue. No blue tide. No tide blue. You're calling it draw go. No tide blue. I like that. All right, we're gonna get into it. All right, we have won the play. We're gonna take it. I think it behooves us to take the play here. Yeah, we'll keep this. This is fine. We have an answer to an early goblin if we need to. We've got counter spells. We've got accumulated knowledge. I think this is where we want to be. Mulligans to 6. Opponent goes to 6. All right, we're just going to start with an island and pass the turn. Swamp, go. All right. That puts us in second island territory. We'll pass turn. And at the end of turn, if they don't cast anything, we will accumulate knowledge. What we got here? Cabal Therapy. Name counterspell. You got it. You hit a counterspell. Right now, the opponent has to think that I'm on Tide, but I'm not, right? So they're going to be worried about me casting Tide later on. Dark Ritual resolves. Hypnotic Spectre. We're going to play Accumulated Knowledge. We got a capsize for that. Okay. Untap. That is not a... Unfortunately, it's a non-flying creature that hits, so we can't put the Hypnotic Spectre into the sand. Coming in for the attack. All right, we're going to bounce it. We'll just do that thing. It's basically a time walk. There it is. Hypnotic Spectre back in town. All right, untap. Fairy Conclave. I like playing both of these things. I'm going to do that and then pass turn. We're going to lose 3 cards to this thing, but at least we have the impulse, I guess. What would be nice is if they hit the Fairy's Response, because I don't think they're going to hit any of our lands anytime soon. All right, let's might as well cast Impulse. Or we'll take Accumulated Knowledge. Hopefully they don't hit it, but as is always the case for me, the opponent almost always gets the card I don't want them to hit with this. Oh, I got there. A Headhunter. This creature deals combat damage. Target player discards a card. Well, fortunately for me, I have the Quicksand. Cabal Therapy. Rough. Choosing Fairy's Response. Okay. Wow. I did not expect them to just not do the thing. Interesting. All right. Well, I'm going to play a land out. And I'm going to pass turn. I think that's all we can do. All we can hope for. We'll be able to draw an extra card with accumulated knowledge. We're going to kill that, and we will cast accumulated knowledge to draw 2. And we'll pass turn. Let it happen. Yep. Ow. Ow. Got my annul. Withered Wretch. Well, I don't love that. Yeah. Accumulated knowledge enters the exile zone. All right. We're going to say yes. Put that up to 2. All right. I'm going to blow this, I think. I think I need to blow it now. Not in shape to sit through. Like, if we're going to take damage from a Hypnotic Spectre, at least not turn 1 Hypnotic Spectre. They got on turn 3. It's not ideal, but, you know, what are you going to do? Hypnotic Spectre is a brute. Yep. Got my card. Well, I wouldn't have been able to even get rid of it anyhow. How about that? God, an evacuation would be killer right now. All right. They got the accumulated knowledge. Forbid. Gross. All right, we're going to pass turn. Yeah, Hypnotic Spectre on the board is rough for a mono blue counterspell deck. Really not where you want to be. All right, well, I mean, I'll do that for sure. I'll take the 2 hit, and forbid happens. I have been eaten alive. Headhunter. You got it. Really need island. All right. Well, turns out that Hypnotic Spectre is just a beast. Very hard to deal with. All right, we're going to F6 through this. Another island. I'll play it. I don't think we're in a good position anymore. Don't know what you would like. I guess dominate. I mean, a dominate would be pretty nice actually. That gets right in this game. Oh, Rainbow Freet. That's a fine card. Rainbow Freet can at least keep me around for a turn or 2. All right. I can block the Hypnotic Spectre with the Rainbow Freet. Diabolic Edict. Well, I'm going to go ahead and pay the 2 and blink it out. That resolves. I'm sure they have plenty of creature removal. What deck doesn't? What black deck doesn't have tons of creature removal? Yep. Okay. Need something pretty amazing now. Untap. The counterspell is at least a card that will keep me in the game for a turn. Another swamp. I think the answer here is I just block that, right? Yeah, we just, I think the trade is the only thing we can reasonably do here. Untap, draw. There's a forbid. Wow. I really need, I just don't even know how this deck deals with creature. Like, it's rough when you need to. Yeah. I'm at 1. Another Hypnotic Spectre. You got it. Impulse. What do we got? Anything? All right. Well, we're going to go to the next game. Tough. That early Hypnotic Spectre just busted against us. Let's put in some dominates. I think that's a good use of our energy here. I don't know that Fairy's response is really anything. Actually, they're playing removal. Let's get underneath of a deck like that. I don't think we care about a Dust Bowl, annuls, balloon. Yeah, no, okay. We'll try this. I'm pretty well versed in the. Well, that's not good. We're gonna mulligan that. All right. I'm actually okay with this. We'll put back an island. Keep. Island goes. Done. We'll start with a Force Spike. Pass turn. Now, if they Dark Ritual, we have to Force Spike. Thank God. Okay. We're gonna play an island and pass. 2 mana. Okay. We're gonna cycle this accumulated knowledge. Great. I'll put a island play and pass turn. What we got here? Cycling Unearth. You got it. Duress. I think I can afford a Duress. Mana Leak. You got it. I'm not going to play into the Force Spike, though, right? Yeah, no. Who would? I need... Oh, I'll take the accumulated knowledge for 700, Alex. Draw. And we're going to pass turn. Accumulated knowledge is going to get me up a card here. Dark Ritual. Let's do accumulated knowledge now. Okay. Dark Ritual. They have access to 6 mana. Graveborn Muse. Oh, that's fine. I love that. Untap. Upkeep. Let's think about this. And we're going to You'll get a swing in with Graveborn Muse for sure. 5 mana. Get a free swing with Graveborn Muse. We'll take it. Ouch. Go ahead and counter that. Right. Untap. Let's put a powder keg into play. Pass turn. These 4 spikes are rough right now. I need like a hard counter so that I can get back in this game. And counter the Graveborn Muse, but I can't just bounce the Graveborn Muse for like a turn. It's just not. That's not worth it. 6 lands. I would love to have 6 lands. I'll say yes to this. 5 lands. All right. We'll pass turn. Man, a capsize on that would be so good. They just have so many lands. All right, we're gonna take some damage. Of course. Yep. Ouch. All right, untap. Yes. Land. It's a Fairy Conclave. Come on with your tap lands. Deck. Couldn't have been last turn that you gave me a tap land. All right. Coming in hot. What we got? Cabal Therapy. Yes. You gonna name 4 spike? Nope. No counter spells. No counter spells. Are we casting something else? 6 cards in hand. I feel like you should cast something else. We'll see. Hypnotic Spectre. Indeed. Okay, well, I love that because what I'm going to do is say yes to Powder Keg. I'll say yes to that too. We're going to blow the disc at 3, dominate this. If you want to kill it, great. All right. And I will pass turn. I'll take an Edict. That's a 2 for 1. I need that right now. I needed a 2 for 1. Cabal Therapy. Capsize. You got it. Size has been capped. Engineered Plague. Naming Fairy Conclave. Fairies? Okay, dude. I love that. I love this deck. Okay, so this is going to become a 1/1 or 2/2 attack. And I will pass turn. Withered Wretch. You got it. I do hate that. Yep. Go ahead and take my accumulated knowledge. Take the other accumulated knowledge. Yep. You got it. Untap. Well, I guess I just have to chill the worst. Sure. Eat it all up. Withered Wretch has become the bane of my existence lately. Graveyard interaction from one of the best decks in the format. One of the best cards in the format, not the best decks. Sure. Okay. I'll make this a guy. It feels good. Okay. I'll tap it to give itself +1/+1. Yay. Okay. You got it. Another one. You got it. And then I will pass turn. At least they're down to 2 cards. Take all the rest of the cards out of my deck. You got it. Yep. Sure thing. I'm going to cast Impulse. Forbid. Sweet. I can finally get rid of those 4 spikes and make them useful. Yes. Okay. We'll play a land. We're going to make this a man. I'm going to attack in with this man. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. For Rainbow Efreet. And I'll pass turn. Sure. You go ahead and eat that. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, are you aching for some bacon? I think I added this Rainbow Efreet as my win con. All right. We will put this at 2. Say yes. Let's blow it. You got it. It's been eaten. And we're coming in. Attacking you. I'll discard that and that. They can go in any order. I don't even care about them. Take the damage. That's some Van damage. All right. We have a forbid. We're going to use it to stop my opponent from doing whatever they want to do next. All right, great. Going to... My God. I really liked Ferris' response after that. I don't love the 4 spikes just sitting in my hand being eaten. But let's try that. I almost want to just be like, you know what? Take another 4 spike. Take the annul, actually. Let's put the... Okay. Well, here we are. We've got lands and spells. It's a keep. It is going to 5 cards. Good lord. Just trying to find a turn 1 hippie, huh? Dark Writ. Hypnotic Spectre. No, Duress. Okay. I don't know what I would take here. Accumulated knowledge is like slightly helpful. Okay, Keg. Yeah, okay. Keg is defensible. We're going to play a land and pass turn. Wasteland, huh? I will play Quicksand and pass. Rough to have a Wasteland when you know I have a Teferi's Response. I'm just trying to bait you with a Teferi's Response. Dark Writ. 4 mana for Graveborn Muse. I will cast Accumulated Knowledge. There's a counterspell. Untap. And I'll play a land. And I'll pass. All right, well, I've got a counterspell. Now I can capsize the thing. Extra cards not the same as making me discard every turn. Are you aching for some bacon. We got. Well, let's cast this with buyback, like you do, and then be like, what do you want from my hand? Take the counter spell, probably. Force Spike, so much less good when your opponent knows you have it. All right, untap. Yeah, we're gonna play that and then pass. I kind of can't play into the Force Spike, so I've got that going for me. What do you got? Hypnotic Spectre. Well, you hate to see it, but I do have the Fairy Conclave, so I've got that going for me at least. All right, so we can do Factory here, and I can pass turn. Well, I hate that. Yep. You're gonna name Force Spike? No, name Fairy's Response, right? Dominate. Wow. Surprising, actually. They're not looking into the future, is why. Coming in? Not coming in? Okay. Go. All right, I'm gonna make this a guy. I'm gonna go block. Love that. Happy to make that trade every day of the week. Unearth. Don't love that. Yeah, but that's life. That's where we are. All right, so we know what's in their hand. There's a Dust Bowl. All right, and I'm going to pass turn. Yep. That's where we're at. Big unfortunate mess we have on our hands right now. One card. They've got the 5th land. Yep. Man, hit the Force Spike. Please hit the Force Spike. Nope. Fairy's Response. Rough. And a counterspell. Okay, well, we'll pass turn. Gotta take it. Got the exclude. Okay, now they're going to want to cast the Graveborn Muse. But I have a counterspell. Okay. Dust Bowl. Rude. No. Okay. I'm attacking. It's not ideal. I need more lands. My opponent could just start going on the I'm going to rush you with mana disruption plan. Hit the Force Spike. Please hit the Force Spike. Nice. All right. I get to at least mana leak this. No, it's going to be a land. Yep. A land goes. Uh-huh. I guess I play the Quicksand. Make them keep working for my mana, I guess? That's not the greatest choice, but it is a choice. Okay, and there we are. Withered Wretch, you got it. See if I can get out of this. Counter Magic's not very helpful when you have a 1 card in hand and the opponent has a Hypnotic Spectre. It's pretty rough. Sure. It's better than nothing, I suppose. Yeah, can't tackle both, right? And I lose the exclude. Oof. Brutal. Untap. Draw. Land. Pass turn. Play the rack. Play the rack. You got it. Quicksand. All right. Coming in for 4. I'm at 3. No! All right. And we're done. They got us. Let them swing in. And that's all she wrote. Ow, I'm dead. Finding the right high-end cards for legacy, vintage, pre-modern, or old-school Magic can be challenging. That's where friends 3-for-1 trading come in.
3-for-1 Trading is one of Europe's top Magic the Gathering retailers with an incredible selection of premium singles, sealed product, and even full sets, all available with free, fast, and secure worldwide shipping.
They add fresh inventory every Wednesday with weekly deals and discounts. So whether you're hunting for that elusive piece of power, a legacy staple, or something spicy for your collection, they've got you covered.
First high-end orders over $500 or 500 euros, use the code EDFREE to get free worldwide shipping.
Check them out now at the number 3, the number 4, the number 1.gg/ED. That link takes you right to the shop and helps support the channel.
Huge thanks to 3-for-1 Trading for supporting the legacy community. Now back to the show.
All right, can't start the intro. What up, everybody? It's Force Philip on the track. Today, we have Graham's donation deck list, which is a deck list after mine own heart. It is mono blue, tide without tide. There's no tide. It's a pre-modern deck, everyone, and there's no tide in this deck. It's just blue cards and powder kegs and force spikes. And we're gonna force spike some people real good today. But what are we gonna do? We're gonna have to switch. How can I switch? Oh man, we gotta switch some stuff up. There's no way we can play with these. There's no way. Everybody who's here, thank you, Graham, for the donation deck list. Thank you for everything that you do for the channel. We are so proud to be playing what is finally quality Magic here on the channel. There's just no way we can play with these. Look at these. We can't play with this. This channel has to care about aesthetics. At some point, we just have to care. So we're gonna care right now. Right now, we're caring. Adding one. Don't worry, everyone. You can skip through this part if you want to, but we're going to do it together. This is going to be a journey together. This is a journey all together that we are going to endeavor on in, part of the game. If you're going to be playing for a while, like one does when playing the best decks, like these decks, you need to be able to enjoy what you're looking at. Like, I get all of my cards altered, not for anybody else, but for me. I want to be able to look at the aesthetic portion of the game, which is all of the beautiful art and getting altruists to all my beautiful cards. And I want that on this channel for all of you. You're going to be watching for the next 14 hours, most likely, given the rate that I can play on Moto, the speed at which I play. And so I think we need to look at this. So look at how clean this is already looking. How many islands we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 islands. Wow. 15 islands. Wow. Okay, hold on. Let's do these. Let's do the Mistress Factories first. Those will be easy. Because the islands are going to be hard. They're going to pump out literally every island that's ever existed, plus every card that references an island when we type in island. And so we're gonna go on a journey of picking and choosing what together. Oh, but now what about the Mistress Factory though? Do we winter Mistress Factory? Oh, this is already the biggest. This is the biggest decision of the channel. Graham, get in the comments and tell us which factory am I even supposed to choose? It's the middle of the summer, so we're gonna choose. Let's choose some summer ones. Are these the summer ones? I sure hope so, because that's the ones we're going with. I'm saying, maybe we could do a split, but we've already got them in there, so that's what's going down. Fam, let's talk. What do you want to talk about, fam? What do we want to talk about? Let's talk about this sweet mono blue control list. We got accumulated knowledge. We got impulses. We got some mana leaks and fairy. Look at that. This is how you know you mean it. When you have both mana leak and counterspell in your mono blue deck. When mana leak makes the cut because you don't have enough counterspells in your deck, that's when you know you mean it. All right. Quicksand. Boom. Bang. That's the good stuff. How many quicksands? 3 quicksands. So many quicksands. Adding 3 to the deck. Why is it putting it like that? All right, so the quicksands are done. All right, let's endeavor into these islands. The quicksands are almost done. All right, now they're done. Let's endeavor into the island category. Man, what a journey we're already on. This is people like, you got to tell me. I understand that the best versions of the cards are always going to be the OG arts with the OG retro frames on Moto, but like, what is the best island? There's so many islands that we're about to endeavor. We have to like go all the way through, all the way down on these guys. Like, you click on island and it shows you boils. That's just rude. That's just really rude. Is that not rude? Can we complain to Daybreak that shouldn't be allowed? There's no way that should be allowed, right? That shouldn't be allowed. Showing me boils is rude. All right, so there's so many islands we're gonna have to breeze through, and there's no way that we want to look at any of this stuff. The only full art like this that I would accept is maybe the Cup Island. You could argue the Cup Island. But otherwise, we got to find a good retro frame. Ooh, these are nice. Look at these guys. Look at that. Look at Q Junming giving me this delicious, beautiful island. Maybe we go with that. Or maybe we go with these. Ooh, they're the same ones. What about this one? Ooh, that's like on the side of a beach. It's like a little mossy beach. Rob Alexander with a mossy beach. Ooh, but like, what about the OGs, though? The OGs? Like, come on. Come on, look at that. Look at that. How are we supposed to not go with this? Let's go a little bit further, but how are we not supposed to go with that? Koo coming back in. Koo is just like, I hope I'm saying their name right because they're awesome. Ooh, but what about these? Yeah, what about these Randy Elliott's, though? Man, what about this guy? Ooh, should we do a shout out to Avon, who's no longer doing artwork anymore because it was too physically demanding on his body? I guess what else could it be on? It could be physically demanding on his mind. That's not how minds work. Oh, man, but what about these? What about those? What about this one? Ooh, Douglas Schuler. Maybe the Doug Schuler. Maybe this Doug Schuler. God, this is the best. Graham, this is the best. This is the best donation deck list we've ever had. No slight to any of the previous donation deck lists, but like, how many donation decks do you get to just look at every island as you consider which one's the best one to play? Oh, I don't think Graham said which ones he would play. So we're going with Rob. What about we're doing Randy Elliott. We're gonna add 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're doing the Elliots. We're going with the Elliots. I'm sorry to tell you, everybody. All right, or you're welcome. You're welcome. We're going with the Elliots. All right, let me make sure I still got 27. Bang, 27 lands. Okay. powder kegs. Let's get these in here. Don't worry, you only have to skip maybe another hour and a half, and then we'll have all of this deck fully aesthetically pleased. We're gonna please this deck aesthetically. All right. Okay. Powder kegs done. Counter spells. Ooh, counter. There's a lot of counter spells. I could be convinced. I can be convinced that maybe not the OG counter spell is the correct one. I mean, it's going to be tough, but there are some retro frame. There are other retro frame counter spells. Like this is a lovely counter spell. You know, you have the old person over here. Just like there's something to be had. Like if you notice, like it's like people with like limpish hands. Like their long fingers just like can't quite compel. You know what? Here's a story. So this counterspell is actually based on a photo of Lenda Murray, who is a former Miss Olympia. This is an actual painting from a photo. So you can look up Lenda Murray counterspell and it will show you this art alongside the photo of which this art was inspired. By L.A. Williams. And, maybe just for that. Maybe just for Lenda. Let's do a shout out to Lenda Williams. Bang. Adding 1 to the deck. Adding 2. Adding 3. Adding 4. Welcome to your bodybuilding meets Magic the Gathering Mana Leaks. Mana Leak. Yo, you want to know what would be a great restaurant-inspired Magic the Gathering? Something is Mana Leak. But you call it leeks, like leeks? Like leek the vegetable? Mana Leak. That'd be a great name for like a vegetarian restaurant or something. This is obviously the best Mana Leak. It's not close. It's never going to be close. There's all these other things going on. This dude with the firework over his head, or like, Raiden from Mortal Kombat. No. It's this dude right here, this person just leaking their mana. Just leaking their mana all over the place. This fog machine of mana over here. Okay? It's the best one. That's what's going in the deck. I will not have any other debate beyond that. Now, Impulse. I could be convinced. Impulse, I could be convinced on the Impulse, because you know that there's the OG, and I appreciate the OG. But if there's another retro, like there is the retro Teferi, do we want to go retro Teferi? Should I since I was so harsh on the Mana Leak, should I just appease the younger folk on the channel that are watching and go with we're going with retro frame. You can't convince me to not go retro frame, but this art sort of does match the retro frame pretty nicely. Am I right? But like, how can we say no to the old dude? Controlling time ensures you never need to look impulsive again. I mean, I agree, Teferi. We get Teferi here. Teferi is also the quote. Is Teferi on all of the? This one doesn't have a quote. You call it luck. I call it preparation. I mean, that's generic enough that we could ascribe it to Teferi. I could be convinced that that's Teferi. Who's to tell you that it's not? We're going with the OGs. OGs from Visions. Fill it up to 4. Wait, I think they're only playing 3. Only 3. Graham only on 3 Impulse. That's, there you go. Only 3 Impulse. A man who wants to 4 spike only on 3 Impulse. Accumulated knowledge going away. I could be convinced on accumulated knowledge. Now, I've had a love-hate relationship with accumulated knowledge because it is obviously awesome in this format. It's excellent. But I also have been on like this intuition kick, and I find that like every time I draw 1 accumulated knowledge and it's not off of intuition, it's just bad. I never want to cycle this for 2, but there's no intuitions in this deck, so it's going to be okay. Exclude. This is counter target creature spell, draw card. So we are doing it. This is just the best deck. This is the best. This is absolutely the best deck. Look at this. Look at this. Look at Teferi destroying that Phyrexian creature. Am I right? That's great. That is lovely. What is this? What is that? Yeah, we're going to exclude that from the deck. Get that out of here. Capsize. Easy. There's only 1 art for Capsize. They've only done Capsize once. What a phenomenal. Oh no, they did this Capsize, but that's with the bad frame. No, we are gentlemen on this show. We are going to show kindness to this world. We're going to lead with kindness, and therefore we are doing the correct arts and the correct frames. Forbids. 2 forbid. Look at that. When you really want to cancel. Dismiss. Dismiss is so good. I have cast enough foils for 4 mana that I'm like, man, it would be sweet if these were just dismiss. Is that the plural? Dismiss. Oh, man, this is delightful. Are we not having fun? Is everybody having as much fun as I am? Look at this win condition. Look at this sexy win condition. Rainbow Freet, phase out. Oh, man, now it hurts. Look at this art. Who even knows? Is there flowers growing out of their eyes? What even is going on? What is even going on? We're going to win with this for free. Dominate, sweet. All right, let's get some sideboard cards going. We got more annuls. We know that there's only one annul. Only one annul will do. Let me make sure I'm recording, because I may not even be recording, and that would be a waste. Are we recording? I can't even tell. Looks like we're recording. Great. 12 minutes? We've only spent 12 minutes doing aesthetic deck-pleasing transitions? This is phenomenal. This is phenomenal content. Are you guys not entertained? Add one to the sideboard. Add one to the sideboard. Add one to the sideboard. Get this out. Get that out. Get this out. Blue Elemental Blast. Look at that. Look at the split on the blue. The blue Elemental Blast and the Hydro Blast. You know, it's interesting. The split is typically when there's like surgical extractions, or if Meddling Mage is going to be naming something or other, you know. But it is kind of wild to be like, in what world do you have to just like concede if you're playing against a Meddling Mage deck that you would also want your blue blasts? Like, is anybody playing Jeskai? Does Jeskai even exist in this format in a way that would make it palpable enough that you'd be like, you know what? They're playing a blue-white creature that requires blue-white in a format where the mana is so bad. The mana is atrocious. The mana is the biggest bottleneck in this format. Like, the things that are holding this format back are in the mana. And you're telling me that we have to split this stuff? Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to split. Look at this art. But, like, how are we not supposed to go the other way? You know what I mean? Like, how do we not go the other way? It's just like, who can be sure? So this is it, everybody. This is Graham's No Tide Blue on the donation deck list. Thank you, Graham, for everything. We are going to get into it now that this deck is looking fine. Let's get into, where do we go? Freeform best of 3. Freeform best of 3. That's it. Bang. All right. We're looking for some pre-modern. You know what? We're just going to make our own pre-modern, create. Anyone can join. We are allowed watchers on this channel. Boom. Now we just got to wait for somebody to show up. So let's take a look at this deck. Let's see what the plan of action is. The plan of action, never let them do anything. We do everything. That's the plan. Look at this thing. Look at this thing of beauty. What are they going to do? Not walk into Force Spike? You best believe they're walking into Force Spike the entire game. Nobody's playing around for Force Spike in this format. Are you kidding me? No way. We're going to Force Spike. Like, somebody's going to go, okay, I'm making a Dreadnought, cast a thing. We're going to Force Spike that thing. It's going to be so sweet. Force Spike is probably the best card in this format. Look at this thing. How's anybody supposed to play around this? Days? You're telling me you're going to play around Days in this format? Days exist in this format. We're not interested in Days. We're interested in Force Spike. All right? Graham has taste. Okay? We're not going to play Days. Days sucks. Force Spike, goated. Days sucks. Days sucks. Force Spike, goated. That's how it works. That's why we're playing for a Force Spike. All right, who are we playing against? Foster the Dave. Foster the Dave. Did I play against you last time? Foster the Dave, when we were playing? But we weren't playing this sweet mono blue deck, though. All right, are we keeping this? We got tap land. We got a Teferi's Response. We got an Impulse. I don't know if we want our win condition this early, though, right? Like, do we want our win condition this early? We sure do want to go for it this early. We're a beatdown deck now. Rainbow Freet's gonna come in. I'm gonna do a little bit of my Randy Savage. We're gonna Rainbow Freedom. All right, we're keeping this. Sorry, Foster the Dave. I'm sorry it took a whole minute to decide if we were gonna Rainbow Freet you or not. Oh yeah, we're Rainbow Freeting you, dude. You best get prepared to get Rainbow Fretted. Rainbow Fretted? Freeted? Rainbow Freeted? Well, we lose to Wasteland. If they Wasteland us, we can't Teferi's Response. But that's good. They chose to just go Island because they are also of class. And now this. Oh, man. I have to fake. We got to pump the counterspell right here, right? We're just going to go. We're playing back and forth a little bit. We're not using that impulse for anything. We're hitting our land drops. We don't got to expose that thing. We don't got to expose anything. We don't know what we need yet. They're gonna go for accumulated knowledge. We're gonna let it happen. That didn't change anything meaningfully. Until we miss a land drop, we ain't casting this impulse. Oh, they want a keg though? Do we impulse for a Force Spike? Or do we just let this keg go, right? We don't care. We don't care, right? This Rainbow Freet will just phase out in response to the keg. We don't care. Yeah, we don't care. There's no way we care. Not a chance. Not a chance we care. You got that, keg. It's the summer. I'm okay with people, you know, getting a little tipsy with it. What are you going to do? You going to leave it? You're just going to leave it, right? Yeah, you're not even close to this rainbow free Foster the Dave. What are you doing, dude? Just going to leave it? Don't you know you have to get this up so we phase this out so we don't beat you to death with it? Like, we're going to beat you to death with that thing, dude. There's just no way. What do you even mean? There's just no way that you could consider this to be the correct thing to do. All right, we're not going to expose the Dust Bowl just yet. We'll show them the factory. We'll show them the factory. They're going to be like, well, there's no way I got to keep this keg on 0. Got to stop these 2 manlands. They definitely put us on Tide, and they're going to definitely be thinking about Tide. And when they counter something, they're going to be thinking, do I have to counter this or do I have to counter Tide? And you know what? It doesn't matter. We don't have Tides. There's no Tides in our deck. But they should still be putting this up to 4. But Rainbow Free, God, this is a delicious win condition. I should play this win condition in all of my decks. This is so much better than everything else I'm doing. This is the best. Okay, Foster the Dave, turn 5. Let's go, bud. Let's go, bud. Ooh, your own Fairy Conclaves. Look at the choice. Foster the Dave. I mean, come on. I don't mean to, roast on you, but look at this Fairy Conclave compared to this one. I mean, that's just, come on, man. Ooh, our own Powder Keg. That's irrelevant. Are we going after him now? Are we doing it now? Should we do it now? No. Yes, because what if he taps a 4-drop? This is the 4-drop. He went on a 4-drop, but if then we can impulse into Force Spike. Absolutely. Absolutely. Choose target non-basic land. That's a non-basic land. We're paying this. We're paying this. We're paying that. We're going to sacrifice this Mishra's Factory. Get rid of that Conclave. Probably too soon. This is probably a little aggro. This is probably a little bit too much, but like, ooh, stiff? You're just going to stiff into this mana leak, bro? No, dude. If you care, I care. Counterspell. Use it. Use it. Use it. Let's empty these hands. Empty them, bro. Empty it out. Empty it, dude. Empty it. Yep. Was that the fight? Who knows? It doesn't matter. We have this Rainbow Free. We're learning. Graham, we're learning. We're going to learn how to do this. Everybody's like, that's way too aggressive, Phil. There was just no need to do that main phase. But, like, they're not going to do anything. They're still not doing anything. Also, if they do a Tide or something, we just got the Stifle out. Cool. You have a thing. That's fine. Figure it out. We'll fight. Cool. Do it. Do it. I don't care. I don't care. It's not like this is a blight on the format at all. I don't care. We're good. We're good. He's just giving it right back to us. All right. Force Spike. That's exactly what we needed when we needed it. All right. Come back. If they have the second stiff, we'll pack it up. It was a little aggressive, Graham. I'm sorry that we opened with such an endeavor. But if the only thing they had to do was to draw 2 stifles was just have a thing. I mean, is this over? I don't know. Is this game over? Like, they're down to 4 cards. They're not doing anything else. Yes, they stripped they like one-sided waste Armageddon Dust, but like, is it over? I don't know. We got a Fairy Conclave, but we have a Powder Keg. We got a long way to go. Yeah, we'll discard that AK. Oh no, but they have an AK. That AK is going to be quite good for us. Foff. Okay, we'll concede it there. Well, let's see what they got. All right, there's nothing special in their deck. They got 4 spikes too, though. They are classy. All right, on to the next. It was an aggressive line I took. I apologize. 'Twas what it was. So we want this. I don't think we care about... Like, do we care about that? I mean, do we care about that? So we got the 4-0. We got 4/4 spike. I don't think capsize is all that necessary. Dominate takes their man land, but I don't think it's gonna matter all that much. What are they gonna board in? Probably kegs are not gonna matter. I think dominates are probably better than kegs. Steal their stuff for 3 instead of blowing it up for 2. Maybe we don't need all of them. It's possible we don't need all of them. I also don't think Exclude is doing anything. They're not going to board into creatures, I don't think. Be interesting if they did, but we have other counter spells to cover that. I just don't think we need it. Teferi's response, counter target spell or ability, the opponent controls the target's land you control, and then we destroy that permanent. Seems like Teferi's response is designed to fight against this deck, so we'll bring those in. And then what else do we want? Is capsize really all that good? I don't think it is. I don't think we care about capsize. Rainbow Free, sure. I think this is it. Is this it? I think this is it. I mean, we can bring in furnaces over something else if we want to fight over AKs, but I just don't think we need to. I don't think that's necessarily what the fight's going to be about. I just don't think that's what the fight's about. You know, I think the thing that I want to change already is Mishra's Factory. Not because it's bad. Mishra's Factory is great, but I just like, we're winning games with Rainbow Free. We're not trying to get in there with Mishra's Factory. No way. That ain't it. I probably should have taken out the Quicksand, swapped the Quicksand for the 3rd Dust Bowl, because Quicksand certainly ain't doing anything. But Quicksand, I guess, does stop the the Fairy Conclave, so it's not totally nothing. It's not totally nothing. We'll keep. I don't necessarily like the having to cycle this AK before they do, so we want to be drawing lands, but we have the counter for an early standstill if they're on the standstill build. If they brought in a nulls, that's just going to be too bad for them. We boarded out everything that it could hit. Oh, yes. Show us that land. So this is delightful. Now the question is, we have a land drop, so I don't necessarily know that we want to fire off this AK into their AK and power them up. They're already up a card because they were on the draw and we are hitting our land drop, so I don't think I want to do that. Finally, I'm going to show patience, something that I wasn't doing last round. Because now if they AK in their end step, then we get to level up our AK on their turn and go for 2. They're not going to do that, though. They understand. We didn't show them. Did we show them an AK last game? I don't think we did. Very conclave. That's fine. All right, here's the tricky part, though. Well, if they try an AK in response to our AK, well, then we can force spike it. And I think I would force spike that. Yeah. I unfortunately hate having to do this, but I really want to be able to hit our land drop like that. And it was too risky, I think, to not. But if they want to end step here, fire off an AK, then we'll force spike it. I think I'd probably fight enough over it, since the annuls are going to cover everything else, that we can actually choose to pick our battle over that. Yeah, would Mishra's Factory with force spikes in our deck just be better as Wastelands? Just straight up Wasteland? Just cut this, force spike you? Like, Dust Bowl is so mana intensive. What if these were just Wastelands, though? Oh, man, if these were just Wastelands, get ya? That'd be pretty hot. Never didn't have it, Foster the Dave. Never didn't have that island that I just played. You don't know. Snapped it off, dude. You're up a card, Dave. You're up a card, Foster the Dave. You're up a whole card on us. We're going to have to change that when you cast something and we dismiss it. Okay, so this would put them up 2. Do we care? Our blue count, man. Look at this. If these Mishra's Factories were... I mean, if they were Wastelands, we would have wasted them. But, like, come on. I mean, if these were blue cards, we would have more blue. I think we just let them have 2 cards. Unfortunate. But if they want to, they're looking to hit a tide, right? They got to hit a Parallax Tide. And I mean, if they want to start Dust Bowling, that's fine. We have islands. If they want to eat away because they're up so many cards on us, they're up now. They +2, so they are 2+ cards. Their range is now currently +2. Yes, we will throw an annul at this thing. Our blue is definitely going to be our bottleneck, but fortunately, 'twasn't an issue there. Maybe I'm supposed to dismiss there so I can draw the card. It's possible that we want to draw the card just so we can hit a land drop, because now we're missing a land drop. Maybe I should have drawn the card. If the next card is a land, then maybe the dismiss was the correct thing to do there, so we can draw the card, and we want to use our mana. I probably just got a little too aggro with that. Just a wee bit aggro with that. They're up some cards. We need to recoup some cards. 4 mana for 4 mana was probably the correct line, because we're missing land drops, and now we're going to get bodied. But they're also really struggling on their blue, too. Like, they only have 3 blue sources. We're matched on blue sources, and blue sources are going to be the thing that matters. So I'm not going to run into the issue that I did last time, but there's a rationale here for cutting the blue source before they get the option. They're just Dust Bowling our Dust Bowl. Yeah, they want to Dust Bowl our Dust Bowl. So, nope. We're going to Dust Bowl their Conclave, and we'll sack our Dust Bowl, blanking theirs and clipping theirs. No, not sacrificing Dust Bowl. Sacrifice a land. Yes. Oh, it's asking if we want to sacrifice to his own ability. Yes, we do. Because he's going after us. Should I have thought about that Dust Bowl plan a little bit longer? Probably not. They want to stifle their thing. So, I don't know if I want to... it's arguable that, we want to go to Fairy's response to tap out of the thing to cut, but I also don't want to... the critical juncture on our stuff right now is, our bottleneck is blue. I don't want to spend blue here. Maybe I, instead of, I should have saved it with the Teferi's response, but, they don't know about Teferi's response. I can see a world where, I'm not supposed to tap off in order to do this stuff because they're up a bunch of cards. But, now, if we Teferi's response, then we get to Force Spike, but then we're tapped out, and then they get to untap and then just do the thing. So I think we just lose this battle. It's okay. Our Dust Bowl traded for their Dust Bowl and Stifle, and then we traded... I traded for their Quicksand and their Stifle. Our Dust Bowl traded for their Quicksand and their Stifle and 3 mana, which is okay, because we're still holding up a bunch of counterspells. Mishra's Factory is fine. I'm not going to fight over that. Oh, they're leveling up? They're going to just start going the beatdowns? Yeah, see, I want these to just be Wastelands. These are Wastelands. Lean into Force Spike. Force Spike, this is Force Spike deck. This deck ain't trying to do anything else other than Force Spike. You know what I mean? Now we're in a world where it's oh yeah, now you kind of want powder kegs to you know, turn this off. But we got dominates in our deck. And if we can get some dominates, we'll steal this stuff. We'll steal their lands. What are they going to do about that? Can't do anything about that because they can also stifle a powder keg, you know, where it's like they ain't stifling a dominate. They ain't doing that. And they're spending their mana going on the beatdowns now. You got to get in there while they can. It's interesting that they want to tap off a blue source. So, like, I feel like just leveling up a Mishra's Factory and then going with the Mishra's Factory, even if you're only going to get in for 2, is better. Because, like, tapping off a blue source is dangerous, isn't it? I mean, that's just dangerous, right? Because, like, I guess it's because they're like, oh, factory into factory, but, like, isn't it good if we trade factories for them? They're up cards. They're ahead. Don't they want to trade factories? I mean, Foster the Dave is clearly better than I am. Like, thinking through everything way faster than me. Up on clock, up on cards, up on everything. Like, I suck at this. Graham, I suck. But, like, we're going to force spike them. Something's got to get spiked. It's not going to be that impulse, though. Oh, if only there was a world where it was actually correct to fight over impulse, because impulse is so good. Impulse is so good. I want an impulse. I would love to have impulse right now. Just drawing a bunch of impulses? That'd be great. That'd be sweet. Impulse is sweet. You want to do another AK, my dude? You're trying to AK again, my guy? Is this the moment? Do we fight over this? Is this the spot to fight over cards? We only have 4 blue to work with. We have 4 blue. This is a lot of cards for them. I don't know. I feel like this is not like... If they just keep getting ahead on mana, then what are we even doing, right? Like, we can't be doing that. But all of our stuff is blue. So I'm going to be okay. I'm okay doing this because I want to go up the cards. Look at that. Rainbow Efreet. This game's over. This game is over. We found the Efreet. Again, our bottleneck is blue. We just need more blue. All these non-blue sources cutting us off our blue. We understand that blue is the best. Blue is the best. Life total is a resource. We are patient. We're a patient folk. So they don't want to pick fight with factories and like cut us off. Like to activate a factory and animate it and stuff. Like that could potentially take us off blue. Yes. Efreet. They only have 2 blue here, so like if they want to win this war like against this stuff, they got a Dust Bowl to or not Dust Bowl. Ooh, they actually care about this. Oh, they care about it. That is awesome. That's awesome that they care about it. Counterspell your counterspell. We have an Efreet in play, everyone. Rainbow Efreet is in play. It's called Rainbow Efreet, but it only uses blue. It really understands that there's only one color that's important. This is fantastic magic. This is sensational magic. And we still are holding up 2 counterspells. Oh, man, why are they drawing all of their AKs before we are drawing our AKs? They've drawn 3 AKs to our 1 AK. They're so good at this game. God, they're so good at this game. They're so much better at this game. They've just naturally drawn their stuff more than ours. They did have an impulse, though. They drew an impulse. We didn't draw an impulse. So now they're up way more cards. Now it's incalculable. Oh, they just boarded into Dreadnought, so now we have to fight over it with a nulls. Okay. They decided to board into Dreadnought instead of the, doing the Tide stuff. So now we got to fight this way. Bye. So now they're showing us, they're displaying that they have a stifle in their hands. We have to think about that because they can stifle this Rainbow Efreet. So we have to think about that. Okay. Do it. Try and Tide. This is a spot. So does Teferi's response? Oh, they're going off. Turn off auto yields. What's going on? Are they holding priority? They're holding priority and doing it. Oh, they're good. Oh, they're good. Look at that. Counter target speller ability that opponent controls targets a land you control. If that permanent's ability is countered this way, destroy that permanent. Oh, let's go. Let's hit this top one. Oh, this would be so sweet. Look at that. We are back in it. All those AKs held priority with the Chain of Vapor line, blowing up everything. We get the sweet 4-for-1, except they've exiled all our blue sources. So they're supposed to play that differently? Is there a way to play that where it doesn't do the thing? Right? I don't think there is, right? Like they get to exile that no matter what. We just get to draw the cards. They just get to board wipe us though. Is there a way to play around that? Like does Teferi's response, like if Teferi's response doesn't actually stop like that kind of line, is Teferi's response even good enough? I don't even know. I don't think so, right? Okay, so this would represent 2 damage tapped either way. So it doesn't matter if we pump, but we do get to pump the brakes on their side. Put them on a 4-turn clock. This Rainbow Efreet, too strong with this Rainbow Efreet, so good. So I'm pretty confident that we're going to win this game, despite that they one-sided Armageddoned us because we have Rainbow Efreet. Is there anything else that could matter? They've gone up a bajillion cards on us. They one-sided Wrath have got at us. Also, like, the argument for why we should just be playing Tide is that, like, this is one of the power outliers of the format, just because, like, the ways that you can interact with it. We literally Teferi's response them, right? Like, we Teferi's response, we did the thing, and they still just one-sided Wrath us in a way that was pretty degenerate, and now we have no blue. Like, this game is certainly done, right? Like, they got to one side. Like, I think, like, it's tough, because, like, if Teferi's response is supposed to be a thing that can counter it, like, they just did what they were going to do anyway, let us draw cards, and it still didn't matter. So, like, is this type of thing even good enough against Tide? Like, if Tide just touches the board, then it's too good, right? So, like, this thing can never resolve. Teferi's response is good against something like Dust Bowl, but it's not good against something like Parallax Tide, because Parallax Tide touches, it one-sided Armageddon's you. There's no actual way to interact with that because it's 5 separate triggers. So it's not like there's even a way to, like, you know, to stifle a single thing. So the wording on this just makes it so that it is an egregious outlier.
This episode
and that there's nothing to be done.
Is sponsored by
So
Cardmill.
I think on that note, like, if we care about our life and our sanity, we have to
with
just, like,
intentionally
concede that
compact
one.
design. Cardmill uses AI-powered recognition to identify each card and sync inventory with real-time pricing, batching up to 300 cards at a time by name, set, color, or type. Collection data is securely stored in the Cardmill network, giving players full access to their cards through an easy-to-use web portal. Cardmill supports Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Flesh and Blood, Disney Lorcana, Star Wars Unlimited, and many more to come. Created by software engineer and longtime Magic the Gathering player Jonathan Dumanis, Cardmill launches on July 22nd on Kickstarter with early bird pricing starting at $350. Backers receive lifetime access to all software updates and new features. Go to cardmill.com to learn more and reserve your path to the future of card sorting. I'll take the 2. The hardest part of this is the fact that I guess I counter that. It's not great, but, like, all right. Now, pass turn. Okay, we're in a situation here. This isn't the worst. Kind of want to draw land, if I'm being completely honest. Yep. And I'll pass turn. Okay. That's a lot of land for my opponent. Upsetting for them, I suppose. All right, let's make this a guy, right? Attack. Really getting in there. And pass. Bolt my face. You got it. Okay. I was really into thinning out the deck, huh? Let's do this. We're going to do these. That way, if there is a ball lightning, we just kill the ball lightning. Don't even have to worry about it. All right. 12 to 15. Crazy that I'm in a race situation against this deck, but he's drawn a lot of land. Pretty rough. There we go. Getting in there. And I'll pass the turn. Will I pass the turn? Yes. I'll take the 3. Cursed Scroll. Let's Impulse. Oh, man. Yeah, Forbid is a card I could play for Spike. Accumulated Knowledge, I think, is what I want here. Unfortunately. Yeah. Okay. Untap. All right. I'm going to play a land. We'll put a Powder Keg on the board. And we'll pass turn. Need to name a card. Is it a mountain? What are you naming? Choosing to name Lightning Bolt. You got it. Yes. Ouch. I'm going to say yes to that. Donk it for 1. Mm-hmm. What are you naming? Grim Lava Mancer. That's fine. Okay, well, let's make this a guy. I think we can afford to do that this time this way. And attack. Grim Lava Mancer doesn't really affect me too much. Unfortunately, we're really in a tight situation here. Okay, opponent drew. I mean, that every point of damage is going to mean something now. Untap, land, make this a man. I'll attack. Every point of damage is going to count for the rest of the game. Oh, here we go. Make this a guy. Coming in. All right. My opponent is at 1. Can I survive? It'd be insane if I got there, but at 5, I don't know what else they can do. Ball Lightning. I'm going to actually exclude that. Oh, come on. Let me draw a card. What was going to be the card? It's going to be an island. Okay. All right. Obviously, we wanted to bring in all the blasts. I like Dominate here. I even think Teferi's response is useful. Okay, so let's get rid of these big counterspells, right? The ones that are just huge. I don't even know that we want that many kegs. Maybe we pull a response. These mana leaks were kind of sad, actually, after a while. I think I'd rather have the Hydroblast and whatnot over to those. Let's get rid of Force Spikes if we can. Yeah, we'll remove the Force Spikes. We're going to keep the Excludes and the Dismiss. Okay, I think that's what we're going to go with here. The idea is we survive and then we outcard. Okay, I'm into this hand. We're going to keep it. Turn 1 Jackal Pup. Turn 1 Grim Lavamancer. You got it. Land, go. Lavamancer comes in. Hot. Another Lavamancer. Okay, here's the question. Can I handle? Think this is the smart play is to just take 6 if I have to take 6. If you go Ball Lightning, ow. Okay, Sulfuric Vortex is tough. Don't love that, but I am going to get to blow up the 2 Lavamancers. Okay, I'm going to say yes. We'll just blow that now, right? We're going to play Factory and pass. Next turn, we're going to attack him with the Factory. Untap. Ouch. Ooh. Yeah. Let's make this a man attack, right? Coming in. The only way I can win this is if I'm also applying pressure. They take the 2. All right, we're winning this race right now. All right, let's cast Accumulated Knowledge. Yeah, here comes some damage. Okay, Fire Blast hurts a lot. And Bolt, that would be rough. Barbarian Ring. Okay, untap. Yep. Okay, we're going to play that. We're going to make a man. We're going to attack. Okay, so I think I got it from here. I just need... Okay. With that on stack, we're going to cast this and destroy a permanent if it's red. Okay. Did they have the bolt? Got me. Nice. I like a fast one. Okay, so let's think about this. That all felt okay, actually. Let's run that back. We will be on the play. Ooh, yuck. We'll have to mulligan that. We're going to keep this. Let's get rid of the Dominate and allow this, right? Land, go. Starting with Jackal Pup. Yep, we'll hit him. Cast that. Destroy. Yes. There we go. Untap. Play a land. I'll pass turn. Yep. Mog Fanatic is going to have to resolve. Thanks, I hate it. You got it. Can I get anything? Nope. Nothing there. Okay. Untap. Rainbow free. Not really where you want to be. All right. Well, I guess I'm passing turn here. Taking 2 off of the Fanatic. Ow, ow. Seal of Fire resolves. Oof. Did not get to convert. Kind of rough. Yeah, we're going to do that, I suppose. Don't love it, but there we are. All right, we're going to have to take the damage one more time from a Mog. I'm sure they have a Red Blast here, but I mean, that's fine. You got it. Okay, I really need a Powder Keg. Guys, you shouldn't have. How did you know? All right, we're going to pass turn. That's going to feel pretty good. Yeah. Use that there. Okay. What are you naming? Lightning Bolt? Pyro Blast. You got it. Got a Pyroblast in hand. Ouch, ouch. Untap. Yes. We say yes. Yeah. Taking the pointage. Yep. Ouch, ouch. And there goes that. Yeah, unfortunately, we gotta just let a Pyroblast be a thing right now. I'll play land. Goblin Patrol. You got it. I'm gonna cast Exclude. I feel like you want to Pyroblast that. You have to. And I still have the Quicksand, so I'm actually not too worried about this one. You don't want me to draw an extra card, though. Yeah, of course. Guess the Factory is what I want there. Untap. Right. I land. I'm going to play this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Put a Rainbow Free into play. And hope it's good enough. Right. Opponent draws. Yeah, I will. Get rid of that. Grim Lavamancer. Rough. Okay. There's a lot to Lava Man. Deck. Giving me life here. Yeah, that's it. 4-1. I'll attack. I should have attacked with the Factory as well. It's rough. All right. Don't draw a Ball Lightning. Okay, we got there. All right. Now, we need this and this to make that, right? A guy and this, a guy. And we swing, coming in hard. Because you got to. Opponent's trying to do math right now, seeing if a lightning bolt to one of my guys is better. I'm okay with that. If you're okay with that. All right. Praying here. Did we get there? Seal of Fire. A fine choice. All right. Another factory. I'm going to make that a guy. And I'm all right. We're on the play. We're going to keep this based on the accumulated knowledge. And we have the annul. Maybe the annul will be useful. It's close, but we do have 25 cards. It's like half of our deck is lands. We're going to get another land. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Believe me. Oh, gosh. Something's happening. Oh, no. Things are bad. Opponent's on that scurry plan. Okay. We're passing. It's a land. That's where we need to be. Okay. We can rush this. Opponent is also on the one lander, huh? Okay. We're going to pass. And Dominate goes to the yard. Gonna go for a draw here. Untap. Play another island. And pass turn. Okay, we're firmly in the driver's seat again. I don't know what my opponent's doing. Yeah, I think both of us were in a bad situation there. All right, apparently they did not want to do that again. Okay, I'm gonna keep. All right, there we go. All right, pass. Yeah, that was I'm not gonna do this. I just might as well go to the next one. I get that. Untap. All right, we're going to play a land and pass. Cunning Wish. Let's force spike it. Don't join my game, please. Okay, fine.
But I think, unless I played it wrong, maybe I played it entirely wrong. Like maybe Teferi's Response, and that's just going to be a learning curve for me in this format. Like, is there a thing, like if they hold priority like that and they just put all the triggers on the stack, Teferi's Response only stops one of those things. And then they still get to, so like you destroy the thing, the chain goes away, but it essentially means that they're spending 5 mana and 2 cards to one-sided Armageddon you. You get to go up the cards, but like I think if there was just a card that said 4 mana, destroy your opponent's mana base, they draw 2 cards, you would play that, right? Like that would just be an obscene card. That would be plow under but better. So I'm just trying to think, like, is there a way that I could have navigated that in a way that would have actually done anything different than what happened? Because the only window that I had was the only window that we took. It's not like there's something that I can do in response, because it's counter target spells, not abilities. And we were tapped in a position where they, like, certainly they outplayed us. Like Foster the Dave absolutely, manhandled us in a way that like wasn't fair. I'm a total noob. But like, even with the manhandling, like we had the sideboard card for the thing. So there's got to be something that I did wrong aside from just, getting, totally outplayed on the tapping out part. I'm talking about the Teferi's Response part, which is I'm supposed to be able to rely on my sideboard cards to carry me in positions where a better player is playing better than me. But in that one, it didn't even matter. So is Teferi's Response even good? There has to be Graham, get in the comments, tell me what I did wrong there, because there must be something. There's just no way that Teferi's Response is a playable card if it can't actually stop like the best land destruction spell in the format. Also, give us back land tax, fam. If Parallax Tide can be a deck in this format, why can't we have land tax? Let us have it, Martin Berlin. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna keep this hand, obviously. That'll haunt me. Like, the whole function of Teferi's Response is to be able to stop stuff like that, and then it just doesn't matter. Am I supposed to not run this out on turn 1 with only 2 lands? No, right? Like, there's no way, right? Like, I get that we have a Teferi's Response, but there's just no way. Like, it's the exact same decision. Okay, we get to put ourselves to the exact same decision here. There's just no way that we play this island, right? Because we want to be able to hold up accumulated knowledge. Even if we didn't, like, I guess we could hold up Force Spike if they want to. Like, we could hold up Force Spike. All right, we'll hold up Force Spike. Let's just run it back. The first way didn't work, so let's experiment and work it the other way around, even though the percentages are different here. Because now if they go Weathered Wayfarer, we can Force Spike it. But now we can't AK. And if they play another Wasteland, we can't Teferi's Response. Well, now we can. But I'm probably still supposed to play this down. But I guess now we can hold up Teferi's Response for either or, which is valuable. I do want these to just be islands, though. Just let these be islands or our own Wastelands. Mistress Factory sucks. No, that's a lie. Mistress Factory is great. You can watch our episode about, like, you know, best lands in the format, and Mishra's Factory is certainly up there. It's one of the best lands. But, like, in this deck, you just want blue. More blue. Look at all blue pips. Look at the pip. Look at the Pippy blue. Pippy blue. Wow, just playing around for spike. This dude playing around for spike. Can't do. See, if this were Wasteland, we can just do the Wasteland your fetch for spike you. Oh my lord, dude. Oh my lord. But instead, we do nothing. But now we know Phyrexian Furnace may be good. Phyrexian Furnace may be a powerful thing. Wow, AK into AK is pretty good, considering that the first AK is always bad. All right. I would like to hold up. Well, we want to be able to go this plus 4 spike. Yeah, let's do that. I like being able to hold up both. And drawing 3 cards at the end of their turn. Well, 2 cards at the end of their turn plus our draw step should imply that we'll be able to get another land drop in here before this Fairy Conclave, so we'll be all right. For our dismiss. Rainbow Free, though. What a card. What a card, am I right? What a card. And the presumption that we just get there in combat. Rather than, like, you know, Felden's Cane or some cool stuff. You know, Rainbow of Freet. Sick. Super sick. Super, super sick. All right. So this is the card that Zach was telling me that he lost to that other time. Discard 2 cards, exile this creature. So you're telling me, like, oh, that's not going to work? Well, how about this? Let's not show you the 4 spike immediately. Let's draw some cards and then 4 spike. You know, AK is really good when every AK that you cast finds you another AK. You just got to be a good accumulated knowledge gamer. That's what Foster the Dave was last round. He was just really good at finding. Yeah, we'll hold up Dismiss. Maybe they tap out again. We'll hold up Dismiss. This also holds up the Fairy's Response and accumulated knowledge if they want to do another Wasteland. Nope, fetch. Fetch, play a Mystic Enforcer. Mystic Enforcer incoming. Let's go. Let's go. Dismiss that shit. I will absolutely dismiss your 4-drop. Dismiss it. Dismissal. And then we just got to figure out how do we deal with this Nimble Mongoose. It's certainly Powder Keg. We just got to draw one. Sylvan Library. How are we supposed to deal with that? How am I supposed to deal with it? I mean, we got to counter this. Question is, are we dismissing it? Yeah, they played their land. No, they haven't played their land. Doesn't matter. We're dismissing it. Dismiss. You can't have that. No way. It does mean that we get to get chunked for 3, so we're going to have to find our Powder Keg real soon. Real soon. How about right now? How about right now? Bang. Too easy. I am so good at this game. So good at this game. Too easy. Way too easy. And holding up Counterspell, too easy. It's too easy. Why is this game so easy? Naturalize? Bro, don't you understand how this works? Don't you understand what goes on in this world? Don't you believe in the good in this world? The good things in this world? Are we getting Cataclysm? We're getting Armageddon? Armageddon, bro. All right, so every deck in this format is just destroy all your lands .deck. So we're going to need to figure that out. Maybe I should have let them disenchant the Powder Keg so we can counter with the Teferi's Response and go up cards. Maybe that's how it's supposed to work. We would like to use counter Powder Keg's ability. Never didn't have it, though. I mean, I'm not going to let them chunk me for another thing, so. They're on 3 cards, so our 4 cards, we have a land that they don't. Never didn't have it. Well, they never didn't have it. Weathered Wayfarer, come on, dude. Come on, dude. All right, you got it. They'll be able to rebuild. Oh, no, skip through. That's okay. We're going to hit a land right here. Nope. Grandma, I'm sorry. They should not be able to resolve a spell this turn, but it's okay. We got to think about this. Was I supposed to let that naturalize happen on the Powder Keg and then they can just continue beating me down because we want to play around Armageddon? Like, we're getting through it, you know? Like, they're spending their turns having to rebuild. Like, now we got a ton of time, and we're going to hit our land drop. Like, we have rebuilt pretty well because we just drew a bunch of lands and had, you know, access to our 3rd accumulated knowledge. But, like, was I supposed to fight over that naturalize? One would assume, right? Because otherwise we're just dying, and now we're not dying. We would have been dying, but now we're not. Is this something that I care about? Do I want to play this to play around? Yeah, let's do this. That way if they play a Wasteland, we can actually turn on this Teferi's Response. So the downside of Quicksand can never touch the Weathered Wayfarer. So Weathered Wayfarer is just going to be, you know, one-sided touch your deck every turn. For them, Tranquil Thicket draws a card. Do it. Do it. Fire it off. Yep. Teferi's Response to that, dude. Don't you understand how the world works? We will counter your creature. We certainly will. Destroy your land, draw 2 cards. Really powerful. Who's the Armageddon deck now? Valpedo 44. All right, so this actually will now check their Treetop pretty well. We're at 7 cards. This is delightful. We're hitting our land drop. Delightful. They're never going to resolve a spell. Pretty delightful. Tranquil Thicket resolves. We're never getting out from this Weathered Wayfarer, so they're eventually just going to draw every land in their deck a lot faster. But such is the life of a blue mage. We need Essence Flares. Essence Flare would destroy that stuff. If they want to go after another one, that's fine. Do we Mana Leak this? Am I supposed to Mana Leak this Mox Diamond? Keep them off of colors? Maybe they're color screwed. Maybe they're color screwed. Probably not. Like, they have access to all the lands they could ever want, but I'm like, maybe it's the colors that they care about. Like, they played Wasteland. They've been tutoring Tranquil Thicket, like they're digging. Maybe it is that. And also, we have so many counterspells. Going after the one that's tapped, are you, you say? Powerful wizardry. Wow, we have excludes and dismisses and forbids. Excludes, dismisses, and forbids. Well, now they gotta play their cyclers. Instead of just tutoring a land and playing that land, they're playing their cycler. They just get a Tranquil Thicket, cycling even more. They are a cycling. Maybe I should start beating down. We should probably start beating down, right? Like that's... But they have a Treetop Village if they want to start beating down, but they don't have another green source. And they didn't even play their other green source. But I probably need to get this game over with, right? Like, while they're spending time doing this, I probably should have been doing that last round. But then that means that we're only holding up one counterspell? That's so aggressive. We have Rainbow Fruit still in our deck. You know, imagine if we could make any other color and just straight up... Is this being flashed back? Oh, because they played this tapped. How about Force Spike? Don't even try to get in with your Weathered Wayfarer, bro. I will block so hard. Play a quickie. So now we have 4 mana. We're holding up 2 counterspells. They can maybe cut one of them if they have another Wasto, but like that doesn't seem very good-o. Armageddon. 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 No, not this time, my homie. 4 mana for 4 mana. No Armageddon for you. So they're spending this instead of doing Weathered Wayfarer shenanigans. So it presumably means that they are like, yeah, what other lands are we even trying to get out of our deck? Force Spike's hot. Force Spike is hot. So if I play that, if I play the Force Spike that's only holding up 4 mana, which would only represent a single counter spell unless they were to walk into Force Spike, which they might with Call of the Herd, but if they play a land, they play around it. But then getting this Weathered Wayfarer off seems pretty good. Let's check this Weathered Wayfarer a second. It might also be that, like, since the Weathered Wayfarer is just going to continue doing its thing, that this is just holding off the Treetop Villages, and that's totally fine. That might just be actually better. That way I can spend this mana and not have to feel like I need to hold it up all the time. Again, like, this is a thing. Like, do we care about this color? Like, if they're making colors. Like, the mana acceleration, because then they just get to play the land. But every time they play a land, if we're not playing a land, it makes Weathered Wayfarer worse. So what are we supposed to do? I guess the Powder Keg can just deal with this diamond, if that's a thing we care about. This plays around Force Spike, but it could also be Forbid Fodder. We're just going to Weathered Wayfarer for what? What do you have left? Valpedo 44, what do you have left? 'Tis a mystery. I don't know. All the stuff that they've done so far, like, just don't care. Secluded Step, sure. Bro, another Armageddon. This is exactly what we talked about, fam. This is the world we want to live in. How about Force Spike your shit, dude? Get your Armageddons out of here. You and your Armageddons. No thanks, dude. Not interested. We just are not interested in that. Yes, we would like to use the Keg's ability. Play another one. Your manlands can't touch. Can't touch. This also turns off the Call of the Herd, so if they like try and flashback the Call of the Herd, we get the token and the Mox Diamond. That's really hot. But now there are draw engines off the table, and we're sitting here with 5 counterspells. What are you trying to do? What are you going to do? What are you... A Nimble Mongoose? Exclude that. Exclude you. Nimble Mongoose. There it is. It's over, fam. Oh, it's over now. Rainbow of Fruit backed by Counterspell plus this creature phases out. I mean, we just have to think. How many Swords to Plowshares are they sitting in with their hand? Probably a lot, right? Probably all of them? Yeah, I mean, we just get to keg this. At the beginning of your upkeep, would you like to
Since you're enjoying the show,
No.
please like and subscribe the video. It helps the channel grow.
Support Eternal Durdles on
Play
Patreon
that.
so we can create even more content and cover
We
events.
can go
Patreon supporters get an ad-free RSS feed.
Rainbow Fruit, hold
You
up
can even join our
counterspell,
deck
hold up
donation
thing,
tier to get
or
your
we build
very
up
own
multiple
episode.
counterspells on
Join
their
the
4
Durdle
cards.
Maniacs at
We have to assume that, like, what, 2 of them are Swords to
Now back to the
Plowshares,
show.
probably? At this point? At this point in the game? I'm doing this that way they can't, like, man up their Treetop Village, so we're going to crack this keg and Combat. Get rid of that Mox Diamond. You don't have the access to that mana this turn. Bye. Now they can figure out what they want to do, but we have so many counterspells. Land. Bang. Rainbow of Fruit. Let's go. Maybe tapping my mana incorrectly there, but like, I don't know. Are they? If I'll take a hit from a treetop. That way, we have access to these counterspells. Yeah, if they want to tap out, I'll phase. Second one, knew it. They have a third, then we're boned. They have a third, we're boned. Phase it. They have a third? Wow, they had a third. Should have played around it. I didn't play around it, but that's okay. That's giving us life. And this is the gentleman's magic, right? Our free 3-for-1s tops us out, but a 3-for-1s, we love to see it. I mean, we don't love to see it because, like, now we don't have an Efreet, and we love Efreets. But it did 3-for-1 them. They did empty their whole hand. Now they're sitting on treetops. We still have 2 powder kegs in our deck. We also have this Mistress Factory that's going to hold down this fort. We have a Quicksand to also, like, carry it home. That way it's not just trading, but also straight up trading for a treetop on the block. This is just undoing the Swords of Plowshares that came in, so that's a freebie. Yeah, this is the plan we're on. This plan is solved. This plan is fixed. All these counterspells, and we already know what the plan is. Come on now. Come on now. Let's get back some clock. Yeah, keep drawing your lands. We fought through 3 Armageddons. We got Armageddon this game, fam. Don't forget that. So this just shows to show that Parallax Tide better than Armageddon. Because Parallax Tide is asymmetrical. And that's way better. It's much more powerful. Asymmetrical, way more powerful. Counterspell that, you can't have it. Annul, I would have liked to annul that Sylvan Library. That would have been way better. Way better. Yeah, I think in a world where like we are just like we are always assuming the control role in the deck, that like I think just more ways to like cut them. So like either this isn't like we just put the Dust Bowls in the main, or these are wastelands just to like cut this strat, or we just like swap these for like Sabo's Webs or back to basics with our basics. Be sweet. Because like the getting into the position like where your Mistress factoring down, it's like if we were playing Tide, the Mistress factor is just easy because like you're just like a one-sided Armageddon means that you just get 6 time walks, where it's like if we're not doing any of that, then just like punking in for 2 over and over and over again is going to be a tough ask. Terravore, you say. So we have 22 cards, so they're 21 cards. So does that mean we don't actually want to draw a card? What does our deck look like? What does the deck look like? With the Efreet gone, do we have any other win conditions other than that thing? No, right? Well, we do have a Dominate, so we can dominate their creature when they take it, so we will exclude. Dominate. Nope, capsize. Still pretty good. And now we can start capsizing at the end of their turn. Set back these tapped lands. Pretty powerful. We're at 9 mana. Once we get to 12 mana, we can double capsize. And that will be powerful wizardry. You gonna pick up the gemstone? No, they're gonna pick up a cycle land. No, picking up gemstone. Interesting. I mean, if we get to the position where it's like, who's gonna deck out, then it makes sense to not pick up the step. Powerful magic. Dust Bowl. Gonna do it not now, because if they wasteland, then we can sack the Dust Bowl in response. But otherwise, if we're at 10 mana, drawing 2 as opposed to just doing this over 2 turns, I think that's better. Destroy target non-basic land. Destroy that guy. We'll sacrifice this Quicksand. That's done. Who's the Armageddon deck now? Fairy Conclave. Sweet. We'll go another turn. We'll pass another turn. Rashaden Port, dude. You serious right now, my homie? You trying to port? Wow, they're not porting in the upkeep? Well, then we'll play it back. Every land they play is going to get bowled. We're going bowling, and then we're just going to close it out with this Mistress Factory. If they don't want to, well, they're not going to, they're not going to concede because they're going to just, like, they're up a minute on clock, so they're going to want to play to that. That ain't it, though, dude. Certainly ain't it. Oh, I missed it. I misclicked through it. My bad. Down to 3 cards. It's okay. It's okay for us. We can let it. We can go one more turn. They're not going to do anything relevant because we have all these counter spells. This game is effectively over. We have our win con. We just need to be patient, even though I misclicked. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. That Rainbow free 3 for winning on Swords of Plowshare, sick. Sick. So sick. But yeah, think about, like, back to basics. How hot would that be? Back to basics would be hot. I'm not worrying about that. We have capsize. Oh, flash it back, fam. Flash it back. I will keg you. I will keg you so good. You're going to get kegged. You're going to get kegged. Yeah. Hot. Destroy this. Prepare to get kegged. Cast with buyback. It's probably just also the better line. We don't even have to waste the keg. So 6, 3, so we can't do that yet. All right. Well, we'll let something go. What's going away? Probably a forbid. 3 mana is the most expensive counterspell. Come on now. Could argue Force Spike, but Force Spike is also just pitchable. And, you know, as we're Dust Bowling, prevent all combat damage, that's a loss. We're down to 6. Capsize. Buyback. Get rid of that thing. Clearly tapping my mana incorrectly, but we're okay. We are okay. Dominate. Just showed up right when I could have stolen their elephant. All right. Well, play keg. 2-1. Oh, no. Undo. Undo. It costs way more mana than I thought. This lands a 2-2. 8 turns away, Valpedo. Do you have another source of plowshares? Your 4th? A naturalize. He has a naturalize. 13 cards to 15 cards? Get wrecked. Oh, but he has Corehaven. Oh, he's so powerful. Just when I dunked on this card, too. That's okay. We got a Dust Bowl. We'll just Dust Bowl it. There are 2 cards to our 6 cards. We have a Capsize, we have a Dominate, we have everything. It's unfortunate we're not going to get through to game 3. Because that would be real nice. Get rid of that. I can't dominate that, so we got to counter it. Ooh, that's hot. This land becomes a 2-2 assembly worker. This land becomes a 2-2 assembly worker. 4-turn clock. Imagine if these were wastelands or more islands or back to basics, and then we just played like Felden's Cane. Sexy. With like Latnam's Legacy and just put it back when we don't want it. Come on. Come on. I mean, that'd be hot, right? That'd be hot, right? For anybody who was concerned about whether or not this video was going to be a mono blue deck jerking off even after it got Armageddoned, you were, I don't know what I said. I forget which way it was said, but you were wrong. Or you were right. We are doing it. This is a land. This is a land. 3-turn clock. We're going to start capsizing. We're going to start capping. If you try and wasteland, we'll just cap it back. Cap it back. This is the land. This is the land. Actually, I don't care. 3-turn clock. Weathered Wayfarer. I'll dominate it. Take that. 2-turn clock. Dust Bowl. Play this. This is the land. 1-turn clock. Wow. Beat it Armageddon. Counter 2 more Armageddons. Powerful wizardry. Didn't even fire off this 4th accumulated knowledge. Powerful magic. Impulse Suite is the land. Get in there. Bro, you drew another disenchant? Don't you understand? Exacxes. Saw it 50 turns away. All right, so what are we boarding here? We got the these things to fight off the things, but we don't even care about that. We got this thing, but if they're on the spec version, like we never saw like a quiet spec. We never saw a blue card in that. So maybe they're not on the spec version. They're just on all of the Armageddons, and Teferi's response is really good. Oh, no, that targets a land. This is an opponent that targets a land. So it would cut Wasteland, but it doesn't actually counter Armageddon. I don't think Teferi's response is it, fam. If it can't beat a Tide after it's targeted your lands, and it can't beat Armageddon, like, at that point, let's just play anything else. This is like, even when it's good, it's not great. But I will swap a Quicksand for a Dust Bowl. And then let's see. Probably a Nulls because we can't beat Sylvan Library. Our powder kegs are already stressed, and so I'd like to be ahead of that. It's possible that Force Spike isn't as good. They are tapping out for 4 mana spells, though, so, like, we do care about that. Maybe we don't need the second Forbid. I don't even know if we care about the Teferi's response. Like, yes, it's going to clip Wasteland. Yes, it can clip a Dust Bowl. Maybe it's good enough just for that purpose. It's probably good enough just for that, maybe. I don't think we need the Rainbow Freak because they're going to give us win conditions. Anything I can do to cut a win condition, absolutely. Exclude, great against their Terravores. I mean, Quicksand just sucks, but I don't know if we want to go down mana sources. I'm willing to do it, though, because it's a colorless land, and we want to be more on actual blue for Force Spike and such. Are they going to play around Force Spike? Does it matter? Are they going to play around? I guess it's better than the Teferi's response does blank a Dust Bowl, which is important, and we care about that. We have 3 Dust Bowls, though, so we can go after our own over the 4th Force Spike. Yeah, and on the draw, Force Spike is going to get worse. A null can hit anything at any time. It's possible that this is just too many nulls, but we can never beat a Sylvan Library. We don't have a way to remove a Sylvan Library other than a powder keg, and I don't really want to spend my powder kegs on that, although I will. I definitely will. Maybe this is not as good as another Forbid. Maybe Teferi's response is just going to be better than Force Spike, but they're tapping out. Like, a lot of their shit is just tapping out. I also like Annuls because it can hit Mox Diamonds, and I would absolutely counter a Mox Diamond. Like, you don't got to tell me that it's not good to spend 1 mana on their 0 mana. Like, I'm not trying to let them get ahead. You kidding me? No way. I'll absolutely counter your forking Mox Diamond. Like, without any foils or gushes in our deck, we're just sort of at the mercy of these turn ones. Like, right now, if they were to go like Mox Diamond Sylvan Library, like, the game's over. That's okay. We have a powder keg for that. We also have a factory to catch us back up on it. So not too worried there. The goose ain't loose. The goose is still on a leash, so we're okay. Maybe it's the check on goose is reasonable for the Phyrexian furnaces over like the other 4 spikes. You could have done a 2-2 split there, or like, you know, swap the 2 that I currently have. Absolutely. Get that out of here. I know how important Mox Diamond is. I've played many a Mox Diamond. I'm aware of its import. Also lets us curve out pretty nicely. Maybe I should play the factory there to disincentivize. It turns on that that was probably a bust. I'd probably do this to disincentivize an attack, and if they want a wasteland, that's fine. Teferi's Response we can save later for a Dust Bowl, but at least it like turns on the option of those lines. So like this 1 damage doesn't matter all that much, but it's like if they had the wasteland, maybe they fire it off proactively, and we get to Teferi's Response and turn that on. So I think that was a punt that turn. I think I'm supposed to play Mishra's Factory there since we have all the mana that if they do waste it and we don't want to pick that battle, we don't have to. They just terravoring. Okay. Capsize is pretty good, but it's going to take a while. I'll take it anyway because we have the mana to get there. It's just going to take some turns. I realized that Phyrexian Furnace also can check this guy pretty good, so I definitely should have brought it in. I think the towers, or the Ferni, are probably just a lot better than the 4 spikes. Fortunately, now this factory is just holding it on the fort for us, so we don't have to endeavor too much. I don't think there's any way that they kept their Swords to Plowshares in. They're just thinking in these positions that they're... Alright, they're going to get in. I'll let this happen. I get that, like, they probably don't have Swords to Plowshares, but if it's just rotting in their hand, I'm okay to, like, let it rot. I'll slow some bleeding. A Powder Keg could sweep up both of these things, but, like, I want to be able to use my mana because then we're going to start capsizing. It's possible that it's like that was the incorrect thing to do, but I'm not going to run out the Dust Bowl just yet because we just need to get to a Dust Bowl to start building their Terravore, but I also just want to get to 6 mana to start buying back this capsize to get this Terravore off the table. Their hand is glacially slow. Although it's possible that cutting them off their double of either color, like cutting them off double green, this also keeps them from being able to go like Armageddon. So it's possible that I should just have spent a turn playing the Dust Bowl, fighting, and then, you know, playing that, because right now we don't have... Teferi's Response doesn't counter it, so maybe that was also a punt too. Maybe I'm just punting all over the place this game. I feel like we're in a great position, but maybe I still just am punting it a ton. But if they Armageddon, then I also would just get to, like, bounce the Terravore and lock it down, and then we just get to rebuild on these lands. Like, they're doing that, bouncing that, so they have a land to play. Okay, so we're just going to get tempoed a bit here. Exile 2 cards, exile this thing. So that thing can... Yeah, maybe I should have let the Mongoose go the turn before. Possible, because this thing just gets... Until they go down cards, that can blank a Capsize. It can also blank a Dominate, but... Alright. Let's run out the Dust Bowl now. I don't want to tap off... Like, what are the chances that they have Armageddon versus... One of their cards... So one of their 2 cards plus their top deck. But if they Armageddon, Tranquil Thicket. Okay. So 6 mana is really the choke point. So if they don't have an Armageddon here... It's funny, too, because, like, this... If this were just a tower, had I swapped this for a tower... But now this port gets blasted by this Teferi's Response, so that's not the worst. But then it builds the Terravore, but then I get to steal the Terravore. So they're going to port. I'm going to Teferi's Response. Well, now they just gave me the access to dominate... take their Brush Hopper. Because if I take their Brush Hopper, but then the Armageddon, but I'm down to 8, so can I even afford... Yeah, I guess I can spend the Capsize just bouncing a thing. Alright, let's do that. So we'll do this. Teferi's Response, counter that. It grows the Terravore. I would go to 1, or I can dominate? No, I'll just Capsize. Call of the Herd. Okay, well that pre-combat was delightful. Thank you for doing that pre-combat, because now I'm going to dominate it. Begin combat. Swing away. Dominate this bitch. Bad language, stop using it. This is just intense magic. All right, so do we play around a cycle? Oh, they're going to Swords to Plowshares. That was clever. They kept in Swords to Plowshares, so it was right before. They kept in Swords to Plowshares. That was great. They kept in Swords to Plowshares. I was just not playing around Swords to Plowshares, because why would they keep it in? Why would they keep Swords to Plowshares in? So maybe I should have been... more clever, because maybe that's what they did. They just played me right into their Swords to Plowshares by Call of the Herding. They just put me on Dominate, They were just clever with the dominate. I also should have just capsized. I got too cute, thinking that I needed to buy this back and I just needed time. So that was just really poorly played on my part, but that's okay. I punted so many times that game that I think it's totally reasonable that I didn't get that one. Okay. So now what do we want? They have ports, but I think that, like, Teferi's response has just been really unimpressive. I think. I'm just, like, really unimpressed by it. Force Spike is still reasonable. Are we just, like, how good is Impulse even all that great in this deck, considering that it's literally counterspell, 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 draw cards, counterspell, 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 counterspell? Like, is Impulse... Impulse is just tacking on attacks to a counterspell for the most part. It's like Impulse is not giving us selection when our deck is monotony. Like, this would just be better if it was more raw card draw, right? Like, wouldn't this just be better if it were like, if we like swap this for like gushes or something, or like foils? If we like, if that's the space that we're in, right? Like, you never want to draw the second forbid. The Impulse is just finding a copy of a thing already. Like, I could see a world where either these just become something else, because I feel like it's sort of not solving anything other than if you're looking for like additional copies of Keg. But if you're looking for additional copies of Keg, just play more Kegs, right? Like more of that effect, you know, like Nivinral's Disc or something. So what do we want to bring back in? I guess on the play we can just bring in our Force Spikes, and they'll just always trade with anything. They're tapping for 3 and 4 mana. We'll dominate them. Give it a try. So they kept in Swords to Plowshares. That's crazy. That's crazy. Either they're on a whole nother level above, or that was just a punt on their part to keep that in, even though it won them the game. Can we keep a 1-lander? I don't think so. We can keep this. They say when in doubt, always put the most expensive card down, so that's what we'll do, because I am in doubt. They have also mulligan to 6. There's no way we're going to finish this game in time, but that's okay. We're learning. We're learning. I think we learned that Impulse may not be it, even though we never saw it that game. Just like trying to figure out what are the tools that we need for things. I think we do want some number of Essence Flare. That's probably pretty valuable. Ooh, played around the Force Spike with their Mox Diamond. Powerful wizardry. Playing around Force Spike. Look at this guy. Am I on camera? What's going on? Are people just very good in this format? It's arguable that I'm not supposed to show them this there, but I want them to think that we're drawing lands so that they do things. It's an information give, right? Like, it doesn't change anything that we can do. But if they don't play a land this turn, I will Keg their diamond. It's fine. Might be a little aggressive, but like, if they're so far off and it cuts them off both of their colors, like sitting on a port, and they're going to be drawing a bunch of like 3 mana, 4 mana spells, and they need now both their colors still. And a grove, they're playing a bunch of groves, and groves also set them back. Like, we're going to lose this on time, but like, maybe I'm supposed to start attacking? Yeah, I guess we have to like just start making worse plays than we would like to, because we have to win this game in 3 minutes, and this Force Spike on their mana troubles are just going to trade. I probably should have started doing that last turn, but they have port, so they'll start getting to port us. I probably should have vacated there for sure. Let's do this. Oop, nope. They exile a card. Check that. Another grove, so they can pay 3, walk into this Force Spike. Terravor is a 0/0. If they herd, we spike. This Phyrexian Furnace will catch it before it comes back. Exile a card. Play this thing. Port. Another one, you say. Nope, don't want to concede, although it probably is just as good. Mana leak that. Can I do anything here? Dust Bowl this thing. Exile the bottom card. This is a creature. Still holding up all of our counter spells, plus this accumulated knowledge that I should have cycled like 4 turns ago. This is a tense game. If only clock wasn't a factor on this stuff, because I don't feel like we've been playing all that slow. Do I care about this? Yeah, let's just use our mana. Exile the bottom card. Hold up Forbid. This is a land. This is a land. I'm tapping out here just to F6, get some F6 value. I understand that in any other world, we would need to use our activated abilities and stuff, but that requires clicks, and I think we are potentially close to potentially winning this game, except an Armageddon happened. So, GG's. GG's, fam. We were close, but now we lose on clock, as opposed to getting to see the culmination of how this would go. I think we're ahead, though. Drawing the annul is really powerful. These libraries are kept in, or these graveyards are kept in check, so they're Mongooses wouldn't do anything. Exile, 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 exile. I think this was an interesting game, and fortunately for us, I think we did learn something. Like, I think that like with all of the stuff that goes on in the format, like it seems like the impulses could be anything else. Like, you know, Phyrexian Furnace is actually also just like a really good thing for a control deck because it keeps Terravoids under control. It also keeps Call the Herds in check, like it keeps Replenish in check. Like it has a lot of going on at the top of the format right now, which I think is pretty good. And I think that the impulses in a deck that is so excuse me, so redundant, can probably be something else. I think like in a world where we are just looking to solve some problems, had to go out drawing as many cards as we could. I think in a world where we're trying to solve problems, like Impulse is looking for something specific, and our deck is literally two things: it's powder kegs and counterspells. And so I think that Impulse is just like the softest thing that we have going on in our deck. And if it specifically is like, oh yeah, you just need to find more kegs, then I would just play Navinril's Disc. And I get that it sucks that it comes into play tapped. I've played plenty of Navinril's Disc, but if you just are looking for kegs 5 through whatever on your impulses, that I think is going to be more fruitful because it's going to be able to solve all of your problems with like enchantments and stuff. All right.
Loading up the next round. We won the die roll again. I'm starting to wonder if winning the die roll is even necessary. I mean, I love a Force Spike. Is even necessary in pre-modern. I feel like I actually a lot of times want the extra card. That can help me a lot. But for right now, let's keep double Force Spike. Seems not too shabby. Opponent is mulliganing to 6. All right. Play a land, pass turn. Plains, Weathered Wayfarer, Force Spike. Like you do. Untap. We can play a counterspell and pass turn. Opponent plays a Snow-Covered Forest and a Sylvan Library. We're going to Force Spike that Sylvan Library as well. Love that. We'll pop a Fairy Conclave and pass turn. This seems like right where we want to be. If we can card for card our opponent here over and over and over again, we're doing okay, especially if we get to the point where we can start attacking in with our Fairy Conclave. Rith's Grove, bouncing the 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll just man leak that. Living the dream. That's a card I don't want to see him play anyhow. Not loving that. That is the card that was absolutely, what's this? Honorid Brush Hopper. Yeah, that card almost got me earlier this week. All right, passing turn. Yeah, the Order of the Sacred Torch. Very hard for my Counter Phoenix deck to remove that from the board, especially when your opponent has cards in hand. We gotta counter this too. All right, well, we did just go 4 for 4 on counter magic. Let's make this a guy, make my opponent possibly remove it from the board. Nope, they'll take the 2. Untap, pass turn. All right, what we need is some selection here and some card advantage. What do you think? Follow it up with a Armageddon here and just watch me lose my mind. Terravor, you got it. Untap. Good God. All right, well, I can smell an Armageddon coming from a mile away. I'm sure one's going to happen here soon. So I'm not going to play another island into a Armageddon. I might have a chance to come back. There's a Wasteland. Yeah. There goes my win condition. Taken 3. All right. Untap. We have a Dust Bowl. Let's bowl it out. I guess we can't bowl it out, huh? We got to wait. We don't want to be taking even more damage. Yep, I'll take it. If they don't cast anything, I see no reason to make the Terravor bigger. They really don't need to be drawing this many lands, though. I really wish I had some way to trade that off. Another Terravor. That's also not great for me. Very glad I did not grow the Terravor, though. Okay, Powder Keg. I don't know that I can get there with Powder Keg. I will need eventually to get to a point where I'm not dead, and I don't have that many turns. So here we go. What I need is like a Capsize would be nice. Disenchant. Terrible for me. I'll sack it. You got it. We'll just do the old F here. Pass the turn. We'll let him swing in. Ouch. Ouch, that Hoyt. Quicksand. Boo! All right, pass turn. Now I need an actual miracle to happen. I can't deal with Terravores. Oh, and that's game. We'll go to the next one. All right, let's see what we can bring in against this deck. I think Furnace is a definite, right? I liked Fairy's response here. It's fine. The Annuls are also solid. Dominate is interesting. Okay, so let's look and see what we don't want. I think we can remove 2 powder kegs. They're going to be playing around Force Spike, so I think that's okay. It's okay to remove some Force Spikes. Let's think about removing a Dismiss and maybe a land. It's a lot of land for a deck that's not finding ways to thin. Let's try. I feel like I want to get rid of one more card. I'm going to take out this Exclude, and we'll go from there. We'll be on the play. Opening. Okay, we're going to keep this. We're going to open with a Conclave and pass. It drops in with a Snow-Covered Forest. Mox Diamond, Sylvan Library, Weathered Wayfarer. Happy to see that over Sylvan Library. Mongoose. You got it. Man, I would love to see a... Guess we'll play that. I would love to see a powder keg now. Of course, I sided a couple out. Put it into your hand. Wasteland. Yep, you got it. The land has been wasted. Ouch. Play a land, and I will pass turn. Dominate would have been an interesting card to take from my opponent, to hit my opponent with. In that last game, I could have blocked their Terravore with my Terravore. Cycling a Tranquil Thicket. Okay. Weathered Wayfarer sitting around doing the work. What do you got? Coming in hot. Ouch. All right, we're going to accumulate knowledge. All right, untap. Draw island and pass. I don't think we want to play the factory so that they can just keep wastelanding us. It's not the ideal spot to be in, where they just get to continue to wasteland us out of the game. Searching for a Tranquil Thicket, just as a card draw engine type of thing. Trying to get big off of the Nimble Mongoose, it looks like. Core. You got it. Core Haven. Hits the board. I think we just want to counter that. Well, I don't want none of that. Okay. Owl. Untap. Quicksand. That's rough. Yeah, that's something, huh? Play an island, and I'll pass. All right, here we go. Wayfarin. Probably getting another land to cycle. Treetop Village. Okay. You got it. Treetop Village is fine. Yep. Taking the 1. And, you know, part of me is like, should I just steal this now? Yeah, let's steal it now. X is 1. We don't want them to have that. Like, this is better than killing it, I suppose. All right, let's draw a Teferi's Protection. Well, I mean, response. Did that. That's awesome. Nah, I'll just let it chill. It's a fine blocker. Teferi's Response is really good here because they probably have I'm almost positive they have some sort of a Swords to Plowshares or something like that. Opponent is taking their time here. What are we doing? We've got someone watching. So here's the thing. We are going to block with both the Factory and the Weathered Wayfarer one way or the other. I just have to hope my opponent doesn't play into the idea that I have. I mean, an Armageddon would be absolutely horrendous for me here too. I'd hate that. But you can't just cast Armageddon into 4 cards and a bunch of blue open mana, right? Yep. You got it. Okay. Well, I think I have to make this a guy, right? Love it. That is the fake I was looking for. So I'm going to take the damage. I was just trying to draw 2 cards. Yeah, I'll take it. What we got here? Naturalize. Fortunately, I can't do it 2 times in a row. It's just not my style, unfortunately. Don't have the mana for it. Would have been cool. Would have been very cool. Let's put a Dust Bowl into play. And from there, we'll go ahead and pass turn. Opponent plays another land. Treetop Village incoming. Wangin'. All right. Let's hit the village. 2, 3. Yeah, I got to take the 3. What do we think here? Sylvan Library. We got the annul for it. Gonna use it. That feels good. In turn, another Factory. Put it into play. And we'll pass. Man, What I wouldn't give for a Tormod's Crypt right now. Tormod's Crypt, I think, would be pretty wonderful. Yeah, that's a card that hits play. I don't love it, but here we are. Once again, I'm going to make that a guy. Is going to try and get it, which is great. Honestly, I need that to happen. Love that. And I'll take the 3. Each time, I just needed to make sure that I was getting mine on that. All right, so let's think about stuff here. Okay, so let's play this and just begin exiling cards and untap. All right, here we go. Got to come in with both, right? Okay, I'll make that a guy. Let's go to blockers. Okay, let's give this assembly worker +1/+1 swords. Okay, you're gonna secluded. You got it. I've got the counter spell, so there's that. Just the mongoose is the issue right now. 10 cards in the yard is going to be hard to keep that mongoose from being a problem. All right, yeah, I'll trade it into that. At least with goose, I get another turn. All right, so I'm going to get the counter, whatever this is. Probably another. Oh yeah, there's no way. No. All right, let's play this. Exile this now. All right, actually, do want to play this. Okay, and I'll pass turn. And I'll block him. Got you a Terravore. I would love that. Play a Terravore. No! No! Okay, come on, counterspell. Woo! Got there. Good God. Rude, stop doing that. Oh my God, you are a savior. And pass turn. I am holding on for dear life here. Gotta hand it to me. At least I know that they can't pump this guy. I take the damage. I'm at 1. Terravore, you got it. I love that. Okay. Yes. Answers 100%. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1. You got it. All right. The hardest possible way to do this, but we're doing it. I can actually activate Dust Bowl twice and blow them out of whatever that is. Okay. Am I going to get to end turn, end step? Yeah, all right. Untapped with a spell. All right. We're going to attack. But yeah. Whoops. Well, we know about that now. All right. Fair enough. I will annul that. Okay. End step. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Kill that. 1, 2, 3. I'll get rid of that land. Untap. Play a land. Yes. Attack. Okay. Here we go. Coming back from 1. What a brutish thing to do. Coming back from 1. Pretty amazing. I cannot believe that we got there on that. Did not deserve it. Okay, let's get another pair of kegs back in. I think we want to. Man, I loved every card in this deck. Let's take the other 4 spike out and slam a forbid out of there, and we'll play like that. Wow, we got there with 1 life. I don't want to ever hear anybody talking crap about me being a quitter ever again. These are really fun games, actually. I think we can keep this. 2 kegs. Love that. Keep. Opponent's going to start probably with a Nimble Mongoose. Tapped land. You'll love to see it. Tapped land into go. Mongoose. Nimble Mongoose. You got it. Okay. I'm going to play a powder keg. Watch it get disenchanted. And then untap and play another powder keg. Watch that get disenchanted like it does. Then play another powder keg. Land, crumble, naturalize. There it is. Yeah, we'll take it. We have another powder keg. I'm not too worried about it. I'll play another one. Think I won't? I suspect another powder keg is right around. Another disenchant is right around the corner. There it is. Yeah, I'll take that life. Another Nimble Mongoose. I love that. Okay, putting me to 20. I need a land. Draw a land. Come on, deck. I did it. We did it, fam. We're going to pass turn. Yep. Fetching a second plains. Coming in for 2. Coming in for not 2. Okay. I feel like my opponent might have forgotten for a second that I had here we go. Armageddon. We're going to go with no. A no, sir. Untap. All right. We're going to drop a keg. and pass turn. That feels good. At 3 cards. Okay, so now we can counter this. All right, we're in this game. We're in this game. How much hate can you bring in on my artifacts, right? I'll take the 2. All right, finally. Yes, blow this. Blow this taco stand, and we will be passing the turn. Terravore. We're gonna hard no that. Soft no, I should say. Soft no that. What you got? Black Leak? You can certainly do that. Wasteland. What you wasting, bruh? Do it. Wasteland. You know you want to. Yes. Living the dream. It feels good. Okay. We're gonna do that. And let's pop a Phyrexian Furnace onto the board and begin eating. All right. We have the Forbid. Wow. Yeah, Sylvan Library, we'll deal with that as time goes on. Not too worried about it. Let's do that. Awesome. Untap, play a land. Let's exile the bottom card there. And I will pass turn. All right. End of turn, we're going to get to Capsize, which is going to be super sweet. And we can do that on both of their tap lands. Okay. Yeah, we'll tap it for mana. Yeah, we'll just let it go. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. We don't want to play into a situation where we just lose to Armageddon with 1 card in hand. Like, we can eventually start attacking in with our man lands and pressure them if they decide that that's what they want to do. Nice. Treetop Village. Yep. Untap. Okay, we're gonna go to our turn here. Untap. I think it's prudent. Yeah, like everything inside of me says don't fall for that nonsense. Take the damage. Don't let them sorcery speed you out of this game. And my opponent's taking forever too. I didn't realize that. They're at 5 minutes left. I'm playing relatively quickly. In a good position here. I just need some more lands. I just need to keep getting some more lands. Yep. I'll let him attack in. I'll even take it into turn. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. X is actually 0. Boom. Gimme. I just rampant growth. Tap. Another Fairy Conclave. Play a land. And I will pass turn. I can afford to take a hit from the treetop. Okay. You got a guy. Yep. I'll take 3. Exile. And Capsize with buyback. That. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did we win with Capsize? Was my opponent just done? This is what happens a lot of times. You cast Capsize and the game just becomes over. Okay, I like that. That's sneaky. It's one way to get rid of the land, though. I like that. That sets me up. Okay, so let's make this a guy, right? And let's make that a guy, right? And then we'll attack coming in and we'll pass turn. Now the pressure is on my opponent to act. I can begin swinging pretty heavily now. Okay. Yeah, we'll counter that just because we don't have a oh no, cancel that. We have a better answer. We're gonna do that as well. Tap. All right. Here we go. Oh, there's the dominate we needed. Okay, so let's 1, 2, and I'll make another one here. 1, 2, and we'll attack. We have the counter spell. This is fine. We're just doing good damage right now. You can afford to let them dig their own grave here. And the Core Haven means that they have to devote 3 mana every turn to like stopping my guy. I think that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and counter that thing. All right. Exile a card. Untap. Let's make that a guy. Don't think I can afford to do it twice right now. I need to be able to cast counter magic. Now they really can't be drawing extra cards, so we're in a pretty good spot here. I have access to exclude. I have access to dominate. Any creature he casts, I can actually just take. That's not Goose, and I'm not really afraid of Goose. Weathered Wayfarer. We're gonna allow that. You got it. We're gonna steal Weathered Wayfarer. Okay. There we go. 1, 2, 1, 1. Yep. And there we go. All right. Untap. Okay. Interesting. Let's think about that. All right. We're going to get rid of that land. 1, 2, 3. I'll sacrifice this. All right. And we will attack there, and I'll pass turn. We can't attack with, like, we need to keep Forbid Mana open. This is our only real, like, stop against a Armageddon. And Armageddon just donks us. The game is over if he casts Armageddon. Goose. Here's the issue. Do I care about Goose at all? I don't. Not with him only having 44 seconds on the clock. I'm going to go ahead and do that. 9 cards, right? Untap. Okay. All right, we're going to impulse. I guess an impulse for land. Any order. All right. Coming in. All right. My opponent is just letting me in the game, I guess, at this point. Bummer. I had a chance in this game. I mean, we win. Awesome. But yeah, that was, we got back there. I'm really surprised. Got that game at 1 life, and now we're going to win on the, you timed out. So there we go. Opponent timed out. We got that one. We'll take it. We will be on the play. Love that. All right, looking at this hand, I love a Force Spike opener. A lot of action here. We've got Keg, we've got Impulse, Manlands. We can even deal with a creature if we have to with the Quicksand. Yeah, we're keeping this. I'm going to play a land. All right, and I'm passing the turn. Or they're passing their turn. They're passing through their turn. It's now my opponent's turn. All right, opponent says he's been watching my videos. Awesome. Opening with Finehorn Elves. I think we have to Force Spike Finehorn Elves. I think that's our only choice. Otherwise, they get ahead of us, and our Force Spikes are then useless for the rest of the game. I think from here, we want to play a Quicksand. And we're just going to chill with the Quicksand, and we're going to Impulse. And I'm hoping my opponent drops like 2 1-drops. That would be clutch. Nope, just a 2-drop, but a 2-drop that needs a lot of dedication to get going. Yeah. Regular counterspell is what we want there. Any order. All right. Untap. We'll put a Fairy Conclave onto the board. Let's drop a Keg. This is a sacrificial Keg. My opponent will probably get rid of it. So we'll see what happens. Mono blue control here. All right, we got 1, 2. Sylvan Library. You hate to see it. We got a Llanowar Elf. Sure thing. I wish. Come on in. I mean, why not, right? Like, get that damage in. I'm going to say yes. And we'll put up a factory here. And I'll pass. Sylvan Library activation. Okay. No damage taken with the Sylvan Library. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. Sky Shroud Poacher. I don't even know what to make of that. I got to counter it. We can't be poaching. All right. Well, hell yes. Oh, come on. Rude. No. Declare blockers. Yeah. Pay 1 mana. What do I got to pay 1 mana for? Want. Oh, well. We both made mistakes there. Untap. I'm going to say yes. Let's blow this. Hit that. All right. Let's put another Fairy Conclave into play and make this a guy and attack and pass the turn. Sky Shroud Poacher. Was it 2/2? Yeah, it is a 2/2. Just playing the rebel plan. Yeah, it is a human rebel. Wow. Rebel up those elves. Love that. Play another 1-drop. I love when my opponent just jams 1-drops. Especially when I have a second Keg. Come on, more. More, please. Elvish Champion. Woof. Okay. Brutal. Coming in. The beat. Yeah, there we go. Okay. That's a lot. All right. We need untap. Okay. Not amazing, but let's put a Keg into play, and I'll pass the turn. Now, this is where I end up losing to a Naturalize. I'd be really careful here. Another Llanowar Elf. Okay, that tells me that you have a Naturalize, right? There it is. 4 for an Elvish Champion. Wow, hardcore. Opponent goes into the attack step. It's tough. I have all the answers here. Untap that, sure. You're gonna get to attack. You're gonna do some damage, but Okay. I think I actually just let this slide. I think I take 6 here. I'm not gonna. No. I'm gonna take 6. Yeah. Blow that. All right. Here we are. Okay. Now, what we got is a lot of interesting things, right? Elvish Vanguard. Big Elf is a 3/3 just to start something. Yeah. Priest Titania. That's a big elf. I don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah, they gotta wait, right? Rainbow Freak. All right, let's think about this. 1, 1, 2, 3, and then I can activate. God. Yeah, I gotta do it like that. Extremely rough. Crazy. Oh my gosh. We've got an insect. At least that's not an elf. So I've got that going for me. Can I survive this swing is the real question. I think the answer is yes. Begin combat. Nice. All right, untap. Dust Bowl. You're not helping me, Dust Bowl. All right. Let's think about what we want to be doing here. Make that a guy. Right? In the air. Okay. These Mishra's factories are literally keeping me in the game. It's pretty insane. Another Elvish champion, though, and I am toast. Opponent draws a land. Interesting. Okay. Coming in with 3. Yeah. Quickly realizing that I can block and triple pump? A double pump. One of these 2/2s into a 3/3. Okay. Right. So let's do it like this. Let's make this a guy and make this also a guy, right? Then block there, block here. Okay. We did it. We stayed in the game. That guy's going to get much bigger, which is a problem. Okay. Let's play another land. Okay. We need, see, I need to think here. That needs to be a thing that stays on the board. Bring it down to 10. I need, I feel like I need one more turn. Can't draw extra cards. It can only rearrange their deck. That's tough, but it's not the end of the world for me. It's just an elf. You get a bunch of guys. That's not great. The question is can I survive another turn? I need to do a little bit more damage. Yep, another one. Oh, that's super bad. Oh, that's just more guys. Okay, that's fine. It's not great. I don't love that, but a keg could get me right out of that. Come on, powder keg. You wanna make mistakes? Okay, untap. Oh, the exclude. Not great. We'll play this now. And they're like 1 point off of me being able to be in this game on that level. All right, I gotta swing in. Tough. Pretty much dead here. Deranged Hermit's rough. Yeah, Deranged Hermit's really rough. All right. My only hope was if my opponent had taken 4 at any point in time during this game, I would have won. But they were smart enough to not do that. Please give me anything. Oh. We're gonna go to the next game. All right, let's begin sideboarding. Yeah, I guess Dominate's fine. I'm assuming they're gonna bring in some number of. I don't even think they would care to Teferi to do anything to this for a Teferi response. I'm gonna get rid of that. Dismiss is just too clunky here. Let's try this and hope that it's good enough. Let's also small nod to the fact that my opponent is playing Sylvan Library, and that's a pretty good selection card, so I should be aware and ready to stop that. Okay. All right, we will be on the play. What we got? The annul is great. We're going to keep. Powder Keg's going to do a lot of work for me. Untap. Play my island and go. Forest. Concordant Crossroads. Get right out of town. No, sir. Ew. Absolutely did not want to see that hit the board. All right, and I'll pass turn. Rough. Concordant Crossroads would be game ending for me. Card is ruthless. Llanowar Elves resolves. Wirewood Symbiote is also fine. I don't love it, but it is what it is. Let's put a bowl into play. Bowl O Dust. I'll just cast it. Just a regular old cast it. Yep. Taken 2. Out. Ouch. Untap. I think let's just slam it and F6 from there. Can I survive? I just need like a turn to get my stuff together here. Good God. Well, definitely time to slam that powder keg. Play a powder keg. All right, we're attacking. We're on the move. This reads you have 7 turns. Can I survive for 7 turns? You got it. Yeah, might as well get in there, right? Untap target elf. Yep, I will say yes. Let's play that. And it's your girl. All right, we're feeling good. We're feeling good. Honestly, I think I like this as the race. Sure, we'll kill that. We're going to say no. And I'll attack. And I'll pass turn. This is a race we can win. Let's blow this. Yep. Priest is fine. Llanowar Elf is fine. Wirewood Symbiote needs to go right to hell. We're going to accumulate knowledge at the end of turn. Okay. Untap. Draw. Ooh, I love a dismiss. We're going to attack. Still doing it. All right. You're up. This Force Spike is worthless right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will Deranged Hermit counter and draw a card. Okay. Opponent can't attack me. I'll do it. Take the damage. Okay. Here we go. Dominate. That's very funny. All right. We're attacking. Getting in there. Doing what we love. Swinging with Rainbow of Freet. Got there. I think this is fine. We'll stay with this. Let's stay with this. Maybe we'll take out an island for a dismiss. And yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah. We'll play an extra. We'll play 1 less land since we're on the draw. Okay. I mean, these are spells that I could play. We'll keep. My opponent is considering A7. Considering a 6. Okay, they kept a 6. Llanowar Elf. Okay, love that. I'm happy to see a Llanowar Elf and not a Concordant Crossroads. Untap. Draw, play an island, pass turn. I need to survive those first couple of turns. We got another elf, another elf, another elf. Wow. Wow. All right. Well, I think I've got to play an island there. Right? Must. Then I can start thinking about factory. Yeah, I mean, I'll allow it. Coming in for 4. Brutal. Okay. Ouch. I will accumulate knowledge. Rough. Okay. Untap. There's a quicksand. I like quicksand here, but I think factory is what I want. Let's put them on the back foot. Do you really want to attack into my Mishra's factory? Okay. That's a lot of mana. Force Spike, unplayable right now. 5. Yeah, we're going to just go ahead and exclude that. Desperately looking for a way to bonk the ones here. I need an impulse so badly. Okay, let's go, deck. It's your time to shine. Rainbow Freet, what are you doing? Yeah, we're going to put a quicksand down. That should slow things down for a couple of turns. I've got the counter magic. What we got? Elvish Champion is a hard absolutely not. I think you do swing in here. Yeah, yep. We'll make this a guy. I'll block there. Untap. Let's put an island into play. Kind of have to here. All right. I think we've got control now. With the quicksand, I'm pretty certain that I'm okay. What are we seeing here? A morph. I don't think I want a morph to hit the board. I don't know what it is. Oh yeah, no. Certainly don't want a tribal force mage on the board. You want to come in? Okay, we're doing it. Yeah. Okay. Make that a guy. Kill this. Block that. Okay. I'm feeling pretty good. Okay, another quicksand. Which means, does it mean that, or do we just chill? I think we need to sit back. This is so bad. Right. They can do for 4 mana. Okay. We'll do this. Draw a land. Draw a land. Come on. All right. Come on, deck. Obviously not attacking. That would be insane. Yeah. All right. We made it. We made it to the other side. let's play this and attack in. We're doing it. Wow, I can't believe we have. It looks like we've got there against elves at least. My God, I'll tell you what, Mishra's Factory and Quicksand kept me in this game. Got to give him props. Another land. Ooh, daddy likey. Yeah, let's do that. 1, 2. No, we have to play conservatively. We're not going to just jam damage for no reason. We need to keep this mana leak open. It's the only thing keeping us in the game. If they play something that I can't mana leak, I'm screwed. 3, 4. All right. Doing it out of counters, but I'm going to get the powder keg. I think we've turned the corner here completely. Okay. I will get rid of that. And sure, let's make this a guy and do that. I'm assuming that my opponent's just like, I'm going to get rid of this because I'm not going to have them next turn. And at least that gets rid of one of my cards. We're just going to keep that at 0 for now. We'll play this. Let's make this a guy. 1, 2. We'll make this a guy. 1. And we're going to try and get in for damage and pass turn. All right. Rainbow Freak getting there. Good Lord. This mana base is 100% what got me through this game. Being able to play Factory and using Quicksand the way it's intended to be used got me there. All right, we got there. Amazing.
All right, time for round 3. Let's get on the board, fam. Still recording? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's get in the game. So before we do that, though, let's just run real quick about like what we've liked so far, what we haven't liked. I feel like the second forbid has been something like I know we want to get to that point, but we don't have any way to like actually hard lock. Our only way to go up cards is accumulated knowledge. That's it. So with accumulated knowledge, like yes, we go up cards with exclude and dismiss, but those things are doing functionally what forbid is doing anyway. So like the discarding 2 cards without actually having like something like Fact or Fiction or Standstill or our own type of stuff to go up cards, we're really relying heavily on accumulated knowledge. But I think that unless Impulse is trying to find more accumulated knowledges, like if that's the case, then like this is probably just better as Merchant Scroll. The other thing that you could argue is that like it's trying to also be like pseudo lands, so like you can Impulse for your land on 27 lands. But I think, I mean, even in that space, like if we were on, like if we want to play Teferi's Response, it's like Soldevi's, the one where you sack a land to start scrying every turn. Like, is that even something in consideration? Like, maybe I'm just going off the rails, but I think that like we're sort of a little bit disparate between like we have the kegs, we have a dominate in the main, which you know I've enjoyed so far. The Rainbow of Freed has felt anemic in that it's just traded like we saw it traded for 3 Swords of Plowshares, which was awesome, but it did give the Swords of Plowshares a target. And if we're just getting to that point where, you know, we need to have a bajillion mana into play to be able to, you know, get through the, you know, infinite removal spells that we're going to be at anyway, at that point, we're just better off looking for the capsizing, in which case it's also better to just have like, you know, Impulse, like if this was Merchant Scroll can find the capsize, it can find the dominate, it could find the singleton forbid if we were to cut a forbid. If we were looking for any other kind of bounce spell, if we're worried about if we wanted to Teferi's Response to the main because we want to be able to counter or deal with a port, like now this like turns off their port if they are thinking about it like that. Like there's just a lot of things that I think the impulses have the opportunity to be, which is, you know, typical for Impulse. But like I'm really noticing it now that we've analyzed the deck a little bit more. But let's see if that comes up at all in our next round here for round 3 of this donation decklist video, non-blue Tide by Graham. You know, honestly, it's sort of refreshing. Like I don't like Parallax Tide. I think that like the games don't really play out all that interestingly after the first thing. Like they do in that like the games just become about like can you get your opponent to tap out, or if you're not playing against counter spells, then you know you just get to your 5th mana so you can, you know, in response to, you know, any type of removal spell or something. But like otherwise, it's sort of just like what's the 1 and a white can't play abilities draw card. I'm forgetting the name of the card, but it's the instant. But like aside from that, I feel like, you know, the games aren't all that interesting when it comes to Parallax Tide because it's like Parallax Tide or bust. But I'm also a land tax gamer, and so, you know, the fact that Armageddon and Parallax Tide get to exist, but we can't have land tax as a way to combat it to some extent, makes me feel sad. It makes me feel sad. Obviously, we're keeping this hand though. By the way, keep it. Sorry, I'm wasting 20 seconds just talking about my love for land tax and how we desperately need it back. Martin Berlin, if you're watching, unban land tax for us, fam. We have to be able to combat all this land destruction hate. Okay, so we can't beat this unless we have this, which we do. Get wrecked. Okay, Force Spike right on time. It's about to counter whatever they're gonna play, which is sweet. Force Spike is hot. Force Spike is so hot. It's so hot. But it also makes me want these to be wastelands, and then we improve our ways that we can win the game otherwise, because we want more blue, or we want these to be wastelands to like live under this. But like right now, this Force Spike is going to catch this Living Wish. Feels good. It was a Force Spike that did a damage. Since they're not attacking with the mom, I'm also like fine to, you know, keep progressing. Hold up counterspell. We have accumulated knowledge. We can keg when we need to. They're just on the full damage lands plan. Damn land plan. We'll counter anything relevant. Otherwise, I'm just going to AK. We have 2 AKs. They're very powerful. Nomads on core, you say. Well, I guess that gets cleaned up with a keg, which is what I want to do anyway. And so we'll just make sure that you don't play an illusionist. Now that we know we're playing against breakfast, we'll just prevent any illusionist shenanigans. Take the damage. Powerful wizardry. Reconsidering their city. Okay. So we can counter this, but then we're naked next turn when they have the thing for the keg. So we have to let this resolve because this is a redundant effect. Okay, cycle that. So we do care about blue. I'm not going to go off of a counter spell, though. If their last 2 cards or what they draw is second blue source, double cephalid illusionist, we lose. But that was true at any point, given what our draw is. We'll just take 2. Next turn, I'll play land keg with counterspell backup after we've drawn with AK. Game's okay. Okay, white. Or 2, what are you doing? What do we got going on? What is this? Whenever a creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, it gets +3/+0 until end of turn. Okay, so this is definitely some sort of combo deck that I'm just not familiar with. Is there something that... I mean, is this like something that goes on with Tireless Tribe to like pump into a thing? Whenever this creature becomes the spell or ability. Okay, so this is a payoff, because this gives them a bajillion thing, and then they get to do what to it. So I think I got to counter this, because this is the payoff of whenever it becomes the target of one of these things, which is infinite. And I fear whatever infinite can do to our faces. So because of that, I'm going to sit on Dismiss. Like, we do have Powder Keg, but they are redundant in this effect. The mom is irrelevant. But we given enough time, we can get rid of this as long as we never go shields down, and they're not presenting enough of a threat to us right now. We'll just take this damage for us to be too concerned. They have the enablers. We just need to cut the payoffs. They gave us a freebie there to block, but I'm not turning off from counter magic to do that. I don't think they can do anything at instant speed, so let's just get a little reload here. I'm happy to hit some land drops. Too many. Not going to turn off Dismiss yet. A game in patience. Yeah, I'm thinking, though, that there is something to be done. Like, it's like the AK is something that you can do in the end step. Impulse is something that you can do in the end step. But, like, I feel like there may be a world where it's like, if we're just going to sit back, like, if we're doing this stuff and our mana sink isn't Parallax Tide, then we're looking for some sort of mana sink of some kind for these types of positions where we otherwise are just not spending mana. Like, if they don't take an action here, we just don't spend 5 mana. And I understand that it's not always going to be the case that, like, you know, you can do something like that. But so this Powder Keg is going to be a 2-for-1 after the fact. If they use some sort of disenchant effect, so goes. We have the second one, and also, like, I'm not going to turn off this Dismiss. Like, whatever their payoff is just cannot touch the table, and therefore it won't. But therefore, Eladamri's Call, they search for the creature. I guess that's just as bad. Like, that is the thing, right? In this case, like, if they have any type of, like, do they have, like, I don't know, it's like if we were to counter it and then it's in the graveyard, like, does that matter? Like, does it matter that it's in the graveyard, you know? Like, if they just got us on this position, I think that's got... I don't know this deck well enough to know if there's, like, graveyard recursion or, you know, they can do something that becomes, like, a copy or something. Like, they've played a bunch of cards that I'm just unaware of what they are. 3 AKs in the top 17 is pretty good. I think that, like... We have to go shields down here. If they give us a turn to pass back, we can reload on this AK, hopefully find another counterspell, which is what all of what our deck is, and then we'll be all right. They would need to find one of their Cephalid Illusionists in the top 14. Seems like we're getting away with one. Okay, I'm going to play out an island, number of fuse counters equal to this artifact. This would be for 3. I want to do this for 3 because I want to do this now because if depending on the counter spells that we draw, if any, it'll inform me of whether or not I want to play this keg or crack this keg. And this is a decision point that I do care about, because if we need to crack the keg, get these off, I guess I don't do that now because we need to fade the turn anyway. So I can play this keg, and then next turn we just blow up this whole board. Because this will go to 2, this will go to 1, this cracks for this cracks for that. So we just need to fade. All right, getting it for damage. Damage ain't a kill. Looks like we got away with it. They need selection. They need some sort of selection in their deck. Okay. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Draw for turn. Dismiss is hot. So now I guess we just don't have... These get to sit back and block, and this will just give us a turn. There's no reason that we need to crack it right now. But now they just also can't play 1-drops or 2-drops. So these are just free blocks in that they can move damage around if they want to, but that's just it. So we didn't even need to do it. That's nice. Okay, so I don't know necessarily what they're trying to do, but it seems like Teferi's response is not a thing that's going to matter. I don't know if a null is also going to be a thing that matters, and that's just me not knowing this format well enough. So I'm going to board out the annul until they show us something. Excuse me. I'm sorry if that is bad, and we'll learn that it's bad. I'm going to bring in the furnaces, though, because I have to assume... Well, they didn't show us... I mean, they showed us City of Brass, and then that they wanted to go big with their things. So I have to imagine some sort of, like, big pump sack of thing type thing, in which case we just want, like, our creature removal, I guess. They don't... Like, Dustbowl, I don't think is going to be a relevant thing. Their curve stops at apparently 3 for a payoff, but mostly 1 and 2. I guess there's a world where you can, like, cut color, but they were just on, like, singleton white pips. They didn't show us anything else really beyond... I mean, they were Living Wish, Eladamri's Call, but that's just green-white. City Brass could just be more green-white lands. They just can't afford to ever, draw their, 2 white sources when they have green-white as a combo piece. They're never going to attack to make Quicksand relevant. So I think, again, I'm okay with it becoming a Dust Bowl, I guess. I don't know. I think Dominate's the most appealing thing, probably. I mean, it does just get blown out by... Like, Dominate is just blanked by a mom. I think it's better than anything else we got. I guess you could just argue for the Furnace. I don't think a Freet is going to be a thing. If we win, we just win. And it looks like we just won, fam. We're on the board. Let's go. Hell yeah, we're on the board. They didn't want no more. They were like, mono blue? Nah, that ain't it. Can't beat that. 2 and 1, or no, 1 and 2. 1 and 2, but we learned some stuff. I think that something would be interesting, and it's been something that I've been thinking about with my, like, very blue heavy or mostly blue shells, is it's like if something like a Sylvan Library touches the table, Powder Keg can't touch enchantments. So we're just soft to it. Like, we have to bounce it and then counter it on the way back down. And that's just, like, a lot of mana, and it's a lot of cards, and presumably they've gone up a bunch of cards off of that type of thing, and we're just not checking their life total in a meaningful way. And I think, like, Mishra's Factory is good in that it can close the game, but, like, it's not otherwise progressing anything. It's like, yes, it holds off, like, if we're on the play, it can hold off a Lackey, but, I mean, we're on 5 blasts for that type of thing. And I could see a world where we're like, those just become better utility lands, or they just become more islands, and, we play, like, a Sabo's Web or a Back to Basics, if that's, like, the kind of thing that we care about. I could see us, like, maybe looking at Navinral's Disc, but, like, a card that I've been looking at for sideboards is Steel Enchantment. It's just blue, enchant an enchantment, and gain control of enchanted enchantment. And that has been something that I've been, like, really, really interested in, between stealing opposing Sylvan Libraries or stealing opposing, like, Miri's Guiles. It's narrow, but I feel like Sylvan Library is enough of a problem and is in enough of the best decks. Like, every Terravore deck is a 3 to 4 Sylvan Library deck at this point. And I think that we're in a world where you just need to have, if you're not playing a color that has a disenchant effect of some kind, you're in the market for something like a Steel Enchantment that can take it. Because then you're happy to have the selection even if you don't go up a card on it, because the Steel Enchantment is going up a card on its own. It's taking the thing from them. So you are going, you have the card, you're taking their card. So it is a +1 in that regard. And so, like, even if you don't end up spending any life, the selection is still really, really valuable. But then if you're in that space, then, you know, you could argue, like, if that's the whole point of why Steel Enchantment is in the 75, then you're sort of incentivized to play fetch lands. And I could see a world where, like, maybe you do play fetch lands just for that type of position, because you're sort of content to, like, have the access to that sort of shuffle effect, and you're not playing foil and you're not playing gush. And so, like, the actual requisite island count that you care about is something that is fine. The other thing that I was thinking about when I was trying to think, like, when I said, yeah, you know, if there's a mana sink that you could use that you would care about, I could see a deck that doesn't, like a mono blue deck that's not playing gush and is also not looking to, like, you know, necessarily position for Parallax Tide. You might be interested. This might be a show where we're interested in soothsaying. Like, for the first time, there might be a soothsaying deck that is interesting. It's like going down the card is bad, but if we then, you know, add cards that can, you know, bring us up cards, but, you know, maybe that's just a sort of trap, because once you're on soothsaying, then it's, like, really attractive to be on, like, predict, and then we get into just, you know, the type of deck that I wanna build in mono blue. But I mean, I think that, like, this is just the type of deck that's going to struggle if your opponent can get under you, which is why any sort of catch-up mechanic is really attractive, like a Sabo's Web to cut off manlands, which is really appealing, or Nivrin Rules to just literally nuke the entire board is enticing. There's options. I think right now, like, we are a redundant deck, and if an opponent can, you know, change their timings to play around all the counter magic. The counter magic is also, like, very blue heavy. So, like, if you want to hold up double counterspell, you need triple blue, and we're playing a bunch of non-blue lands. And the second we have 2 non-blue lands, we are hindering that ability to go double counterspell in the early game. So, I mean, unless it's exactly like, you know, Mana Leak Annul or Force Spike Mana Leak, in which case, you know, it's okay, you can hold up double counterspell. But we're not maxed out on either of those things, so it's tough. But I'm interested in, like, you know, the Sabo's Web type stuff, or the back to basics type stuff, or playing Wastelands instead. You know, between the Mana Leaks and the Force Spikes, it just keeps those cards long. Like, those cards already solve a problem that this type of strategy is already going to have. But the other side of it too is it keeps those cards that we're looking to trade up, and those types of things are going to do really well. I mean, if you notice, like, these are blue lands, and we have yet to activate them, and they're not good on defense unless we're playing against opposing Fairy Conclaves. And 3 mana to tap this, it's like, okay, well, it's 3 mana and it's also tapping a blue source, and we just don't want to do that. Factory is just cheaper and does it for 1, but it's like, it hasn't even been all that stellar, particularly because, like, you know, against the matchups that have removal, we have to, you know, keep this, or the disenchant and whatever effects, like, we have to keep it. But then also, like, all the Armageddon effects, it's just like there's a ton of those in the format, and these are just going to be anemic. So it's like, I don't know, I feel like if we want to play the long game control plan, you know, I'm not opposed to looking at the stuff that takes us longer, like moving closer to like a Felden's Cane type thing, or you know, a win condition that is cheap. So if they want to trade, they can trade down. I don't know, you know, what, Grindstone or something. It's not good, but you know what I mean. You know where I'm going, like what I'm talking about. Like the Rainbow Fleet is a bulky thing that you never really want to draw, and then even when you do want to draw it, it's not guaranteed. It's like, it's the same thing with Morphling. Anytime I play Morphling, I've run into a similar thing where it's like, yeah, you know, it's like once you have a bajillion mana, like, this is a thing that theoretically is inevitable, but, like, at the same time, it's like, if you're just looking to be inevitable, and the thing that this is in place for is, like, not going to solve your clock problems anyway, then it's like, all right, like, yeah, anything in that space works. And it's like, I am of the opinion that if you can just solve every problem, that is the natural win condition of your opponent drawing their last card and then not having a card to draw on the following turn is just as good. So we got Penny Dreadful going. We got some other people playing pre-modern in here. Need somebody to join us. Get in on us for some pre-modern. We are in for round number 4 against Pulse U. This is the donation deck list, mono blue, non-tied by Graham. We have double AK, some lands, powder keg, a Teferi's Response. This is keepable. We're dead to anything like a Lackey. We're not going to beat Like elves is probably going to be too fast. Maybe not. Maybe this keg is good enough to keep some in check. Okay, some sort of combo deck. We playing against like tricks or something? That'd be sweet. Show and tell, and just like that, we're probably dead. I'm probably just gonna end up putting in land here. Maybe I put in keg. No, because like if they're putting in the keg is just not gonna solve whatever show and tell is putting in. So probably better to just put in land. Dream Hall is turn 2. We're dead. Let's discard a card that shares a color because maybe we can just draw counterspell. Twas not counterspell, but now this is another look at. If we draw another blue card, we get to AK again if it's not a force spike. They're going to opportunity in response and kill us in response to that. So a nice turn 2 kill on the draw for them. Pretty good. It's unfortunate that like it's non-deterministic because I can't just F6. I got to sit here and let them do it. So they have a full grip, so we are certainly dead here. Rush of Knowledge, draw 5 cards. They are drawing 5 cards. I think now we can F6 because we're not going to interact. It's sweet, though. Just like a nice, easy turn 2 kill for them. Like, cast 1 spell, that's it. Just had it rolled up. I would like to be able to give you some meaningful commentary, but unfortunately, there is nothing to be said. So if they brain freeze, what is it, 45 cards? That's enough. Don't need to show them that we don't have anything in our deck to beat them. So we don't have a way to remove an enchantment, which means that we kind of just have to counter everything that they play. I guess if we ever get to the position where Dust Bowl is relevant, that's fine. Quicksand is certainly not going to be relevant. What would they board into? I mean, they're not going to Teferi anything with Teferi's response. I don't think we're going to care or need to do anything with Dominate. Rainbow Freet's going to be too slow to stop whatever that they're doing. I think the nulls are probably like, if we fight over the show and tells, then we just get to the point where they start casting Dream Halls, so at least that'll have some kind of text on it. And then I guess the other thing that is valuable is like it is going to be an AK mirror, so Furnace can mess with that, just naturally drawing a card, cycling off of our Dust Bowls and Factories is probably more valuable than anything else we got going on here. And then we just win on the back of, we have 4 Factories in our deck. Keg is also really bad. It's really slow, but I don't know what would be better than that. I mean, if a Dream Halls hits, then just like having blue cards in our deck, it matters. This thing can't hit enchantments. Their deck is a brain freeze deck. So it's arguable that like having blue cards is actually just a better thing because then we can like pitch cast all of our counter magic. Exclude. They're not going to be playing any creatures. So I guess then we're just happier to not miss land drops. Then what is the most impactful blue card we could draw? I guess if they have a creature package, exclude as a blue card is just more valuable than any of the other blue cards. Let's call it with that. Let's do that. Who knows if that's right? We're sort of extremely underprepared for this kind of matchup, it seems like. Though we have 4 nulls and, but we can never counter a turn 2 show and tell on the draw. So we're just going to be naked on that. We have a Mana Leak here. I'll keep this. Sunken Temple, this just is another soul land. These Quicksands are just going to be Dust Bowl trades with their stuff if we are still alive. I'm not going to AK into their AK. If they want, they can AK into our AK. Playing Dust Bowl now, this is like something that we're going to be able to do in their end step if they don't take a game action. They're going to Cunning Wish. So if they Cunning Wish, what would they Cunning Wish for? I mean, I think we got to let them have it. I'm not about to take bait on Cunning Wish and then die to... Okay, so now they're showing us that they're going to play a Lotus Petal. So it's possible there that I have to take the turn to go shields down just to cut this mana, but they just go land show and tell, then it's the same thing anyway. Okay, so they're frantic searching, but that's okay because there's nothing really that they can do here in the end step. They'll get to use this mana, but they can't kill us, I don't think, unless they're doing... I mean, unless they have like just an insane natural brain freeze line, it's possible. It's totally possible that they could just have like an insane brain freeze line off of multiple frantic searches here because they will have access to 2, 4, 5 mana. Fortunately, it didn't come to that. So here's another spot where what I could do here, could I do anything here? No, because if they just have Petal, they have land, Petal, Abeyance, do a thing, then we're sort of stuck no matter what. Like, they just silence us. So let's just play this. We're on the Dust Bowl package here. They get to AK for 1 card. That's going to boost up our AK. We'll see if we want to fire off this AK at end of turn or if we want to just like run back what we just did last turn off of this. I think like it's just more valuable to destroy this stuff while we can, like cut resources, because there's going to be a time where we can't do that anymore. Okay, so second Dust Bowl can get Dust Bowled. Here we're holding up Mana Leak, Force Spike, Dust Bowl. We can Impulse if we need to. They're just going to keep running out their stuff. I'm just going to keep doing that as long as we're hitting our land drops. Defense grid is a problem. So I'm going to Mana Leak here, play around their potential counter magic. This one gets to get Force Spiked, which is nice. Island was a great draw. Now the question is, I think we still don't move. I think us having a counter spell, if they are likely going to need to tap out again, I'm going to cut more blue here. So they get to Intuition. That's okay. We have to just like keep everything from anything that kills us just can't resolve. Fortunately, an Intuition doesn't kill us, but it could set up this Abeyance that they have in their hand. They're just going to get her to Meditate to reload, so that's okay. And they're going to do it now. So we're going to get to draw some cards, or take an additional turn here. So that's great. Play this land. Impulse here. Okay, so I think the argument is I could see the argument for taking either the Mana Leak, the Island, or the Accumulated Knowledge. I think on our following turn, this turn we're going to AK for 2, and then we can AK for 3, in which case we're likely to find another mana source, or we could just take Mana Leak, AK now for 2 cards, have 2 counter spells up for their turn with a full grip of 7. I think that's better because we need to be able to fight over the Abeyance. So I think we just load up. So they skip their next turn, so let's draw 2. Found the island, that's great. Play the island. I could see a world right now where I could see an argument for capsizing an island just to clip this City of Traders. I could also see an argument for going down to just counterspell and clipping the city, which I think is probably the best option. Right? But then we're down to 1 counterspell as opposed to having 3 counterspells up to their 5 mana. They obviously have their 6 mana. So they have 6 mana, one of which needs to be a 3-drop. They could go Petal Abeyance, they could have 7. If they go Petal Abeyance, we have to counterspell. They cast something, we Mana Leak. If they fight back, we can Force Spike. Is that a sequence that we actually care about? Like, is that a secret? Like, I think that is maximizing the most number of cards in our hand. We just fought over defense grids. So, like, yeah, they're just going to cast the Dream Halls. We'll catch it with a Force Spike. Okay, here's an interesting argument. Do you Dust Bowl the City of Traders and set them back so this Mana Leak stays alive longer because they just didn't play a land, even though they see the Dust Bowl, they know we could go after the city, so they could play, like, you know, a second city. But I think if they wanted to cast multiple spells in a turn, that they would just do that. Could also argue for capsizing an island and just setting them back that way without being able to buy it back. We could sit and not do anything. I feel like taking no action isn't the play. I think if we go hit the city, untap, have capsize that end of turn, we can bounce and still have 2 counterspells. And in a null, it's pretty sweet. Could see, like, there's an argument. Like, I feel like I'm a little too conservative with capsize a lot of the time. Like, there may be a world where I'm not supposed to spend time buying it back and just use it as a bounce spell. If they want to spend a counterspell on this, I'm cool with that. Like, I want to be able to use my mana here. Counter target spell, and we draw, sure. I'm also happy to have that just be a 6-mana draw 2. Like, we are interested in that world. I'll play the Fairy Conclave because it comes in tapped, and I'd rather get that down. We do have the Rainbow of Freet in our deck, so, like, I'm just going to consider that to be the win condition as opposed to... I'm fighting over this because we know about Abeyance in hand, and I just don't want to give them access to that. I mean, if you're going to do it, I just don't have any interest. Like, if they have... I don't know what other colored spells they might have in their deck, but if they're just going to do this, we just get to walk them in. I understand that, like, fighting over Lotus Petals is probably not the game, but, like, we know... Okay, so they just get to do that. They're down to 2 cards. Is it a payoff? It doesn't seem to be. So that wasn't great. So I need to hold up 4 mana for this dismiss. So this means that by cutting the Ancient Tomb, it means that they have to pitch cast one of their big draw spells, which we can then dismiss. We know that they have an Abeyance in hand, which is not going to help them cast their stuff. So let's do this. This becomes a 2-1 until end of turn. They drew something big. A Rush of Knowledge. Can't let a Rush of Knowledge resolve. Would really like to draw not land this time. Bang! Accumulated knowledge is quite good. I'm happy to do this now. That's great. I should have played the Mishra's Factory there. Got a little too cute with it. So I'm going to keep the Impulse because if we dismiss into another counterspell, we can pitch cast the counterspell. They're at the threshold where they can count. They can't cast Opportunity hard cast yet. They're a land away from that. Here I'll Impulse. Actually, no, because if their last 2 cards are just blue card plus something, I don't want to put shields down. There's no need to do that. Fairy Conclave is tapped going to matter. Let's play Factory. This becomes a 2-1. They're at 12. We have 5 power on the table potentially. Play this now. This is a 2-1. We'll do a 2-turn clock after the fact. We will clip this scary. Annul is great. And Annul is great in this position because things we do care about are things like Defense Grid. I'm so happy that we boarded in the Annuls. The Lotus Petals because they have an Abeyance in their hand. As long as we can keep them off of white, we've effectively mulliganed them on that Cunning Wish that they used in order to get the Abeyance. And the Abeyance also being white is not helping them cast anything off of their Dream Halls. Like, what is nice is they have yet to do anything with this Dream Halls. They paid 5 for their Rush of Knowledge. So now they're going all in on this opportunity. I'm going to dismiss this. I'll pitch the Annul for an Impulse looking for a counterspell if they fight back. We know that their last card is Abeyance. Find the counterspell, and this will do it because we know that their last thing is an Abeyance, and we have a lethal on the table. Tight game. Feels good. Well done. Okay, so I think everything that we did is reasonable. I think now that we know we're going to be in those tight positions, Furnace as a cantrip is, fine, but I think that we are in the market to just have blue cards, although it is another thing that we can just use to cantrip. And I think a cantrip actually is better. Now that I'm looking at what is available to us, maybe kegs are actually better on the draw. We have 4 spikes and annuls, but having just this sit on 2 against a defense grid, now that we know that this actually could have text, isn't the worst. I think I'm more interested in that than I am. The question though is how much they're not going on to creatures, so exclude just being a blue card. Are we more interested in just having access to being able to fight over defense grids if they don't have it early? It's just this is a lot of non-blue cards. This means that we're sitting with the majority of our deck isn't blue now if we get into a position where we're pitch casting. But I think that's okay because the Furnace is 2-mana cycle. Maybe that is better. Maybe 2-mana cycle is just better. If they go up to 4 defense grid, some of these things are going to have to catch that. I think I'm okay with this. It's not as good, but if they go turn 2 defense grid, they could go turn 1 defense grid if they wanted to, and we wouldn't have a way to deal with it, so maybe I should be respecting it more. Is this hand too slow? This hand might be too slow. On the draw, it's probably too slow. I think I get one of our 2-mana counterspells, 4 spike type stuff. I'll keep this. Let's put back a Factory, I think. We're not interested in non-blue, although we do want to hit our land drops, but I want to keep these 3 spells. It's also possible that I'm supposed to mulligan there again for just a 4 spike or a... It's also possible that I'm supposed to just play Island right there. I get that it would mean that we are off of counterspell on turn 2, but now they don't have to worry about 4 spike or a null, and we just die. Oh, but they go Meditate instead? That's great. They're just looking to rebuild off of their mulligans. Oh, we'll take it, fam. Let's just get this play. We'll take our draw and rampant growth. So now we have a counterspell for whatever they do. We would like this Impulse to find Dust Bowl, because Dust Bowl is the only reason that I think we won last game, and they'll scoop it up.
Oh, well, it is what it is. Some people just don't like blue decks. We'll keep this. One starts with a strong 7. Swamp Curse Scroll. I love it. Goes really well with my powder keg. I'll play a land and I'll pass turn. Okay. City of Brass. Dark Ritual. I'm gonna cast 4 spike. Okay. They paid the 1. Sometimes they don't. They go, oh, that was my whole plan. Hypnotic Spectre. Bottomless Pit. Okay. Well, at least I have the God, I'll be so upset if I lose the powder keg here. It's random. No, I didn't. Okay, great. Okay. Passing the turn. All right, we got a Funeral Charm. I'll lose an island and a land. Okay. I'm going to put this powder keg to 1. Blow it. Let's blow it. Yep. Play this. We'll see if they even play creatures. They probably don't, but at least I can impulse. Okay. There we go. Impulse. I guess the answer is powder keg here. Any order. All right, hit the exclude, not the powder keg. Oh, the powder keg goes. All right. Well, it is what it is. I mean, I will block. Make that a guy. Attackers. Declare blockers. Block. Yep. So give this +1/+1. All right. God damn it. Okay. Oh, no. Deck. Okay. We're in trouble now. Bottomless pit. Very tough. Yep. Taking the damage on that one for sure. Man, that pit would have helped. I mean, I guess it wouldn't have helped that much. Pit. Keg, I should say. All right. Pass and turn. Now we're in a state of whatever. Making a guy, right? Yep. Making a dude. Coming in. No, we hate it. Okay. That goes away. Draw. Oh. All right. We're just passing through here. Brutal. The Beats Factory. Love that. I need. Jesus. I'm an idiot. I was F6ing too hard. Well, got him with that duress. Card for card there, I feel like. All right. Rough. Lost a factory on that. Don't love that. Okay, there goes that. Capsize. That's sweet. Hell yeah. I probably should have used bottomless pit with it on the stack, but yeah, there we go. Taking that damage. Then they play a land, I'm assuming. Okay, untap. I don't have anything to worry about. Pass turn. Ouch. Could have gotten out from under this with a with the bottomless pit into their hand, but I don't think it was terribly smart. Yeah, Funeral Charm wouldn't have done anything for me. All right, draw. Yikes. Okay, not a lot that can be done here. Yeah, hitting the bottomless pit would have helped, but it wouldn't have saved me. I would have still died. The wreck. Okay, we got there. You got me. Okay. Obviously, the annuls come in. Dominates come in. Let's get rid of these forbids. Right? I think exclude can go. Teferi's Response. Probably not that good. Let's keep one Teferi's Response in. We'll take out a dismiss. It's unlikely we'll get to dismiss mana against this deck. We know what they're doing. We can try our hardest to see if we can make that not be a thing. You just have to stop the bottomless pit. Bottomless pit's very hard for a deck like mine to deal with. We might get there. I'm going to keep this. This is a fine opener. Mulligan to 6. This is about as good an opener as I can hope for. With the annul and the force spike, I've got to play for 2 turns in a row to stop whatever shenanigans is going to happen. Okay. Untap. Funeral Charm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a quicksand. I'll play a land and pass turn. The rest is my biggest enemy in this matchup. Let's annul this. This is one of the win conditions the deck has. Untap. We'll play a factory. And we'll toss down a powder keg. And we'll see how this works for us. Got a forest. Naturalize. You got it. Happy to see it. I think. Yeah. Okay, we're going to make this a guy and start attacking in. Coming in, swinging. I'll pass turn. We'll force spike that. Untap. We'll make this a guy and attack. Yep. I think we have to let the second one through, and then we'll just block it with the factory, assuming that they have another land. Dark Ritual. You got it. Bottomless pit. We're going to say no to the bottomless pit and then untap. Okay, now we're going to play a land, and we have to pass turn here, unfortunately. We've got to be able to cast both Accumulated Knowledge and Impulse in case something happens. Okay, let's Impulse. Nice. We're going to take that. I'm not even worried about anything else. Right? Sure, you get a guy, and I'll just bounce it, assuming I draw a land. Let's just do this now. Give me a land. That comes into play untapped. Nice. We did it. All right. From here, now I don't even have to worry about that. I can actually start being silly. If they don't draw another land, I can knock them down to just being able to have 2 lands in play. Sick. That's actually perfect. I'm down to take the 3. 100% into it. All right, let's capsize with buyback. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Untap. Fairy Conclave. 1, 2, 3. And I'll bounce that with buyback. This puts my opponent in an awkward position where they're now stuck at 3 lands. They'll never get to cast Call of the Herd again. I can take the damage. It's not a big deal. Untap. Actually take the damage from that. See, this is funny because I probably started out their kill spells, but I do have to worry a little bit, right? All right, we're gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? All right. And we can still block the treetop. Oh my gosh. Untap. Play a land. Okay, we go to the end of turn here. That stops them from being able to play that. Let's bounce that. Bajoing. You got it. Okay, sick. You go ahead and call the herd. I love that. I think I confused my opponent on the spell there. Nice. Blow. I'm going to return that to their hand and pass turn. Yeah, I'll blow it. Okay. Tap land. Let's make this a guy. What do you got? Diabolic Edict. Boing. Turn that. If I could just get to a point where I'm double casting this, things are looking crazy. So I have 8. 1, 2, 3. Right. 1, 2. 1, 2. Making this a guy attack. Might be worth saving, actually. Right? Oh, you got him. Well played. There's the other treetop. I need so badly to see a Dust Bowl. Ouch. Or okay. Here we go. We tried very hard to be in this game, but you got to hand it to. I'm surprised they kept their creature removal in. Honestly, I didn't expect that. Okay, my turn. You got it. Pass turn. Trading 1 for 1. There it is. Yep, make it good. Got to close that window. All right, I'm at 5. There are so many cards that could keep me in this game. Dominate is one of those cards. That's how we stay alive for an extra turn. You want to come in? I'll trade. No, they never do. They never do. Fairy's Response. Unfortunately, not what I need right now. Can I get a... I mean, it would be very cool to draw another Dominate and be able to start attacking in with these things. Yeah, you got me. You gotta discard that. At 2. Come on, deck. I need anything that'll keep me in this game. What do we got? Untap, draw, factory. Get in the deck, factory. You got there. I can actually kill the treetop village. Call the herd. Yep. Okay. Oh wow. Let me stay in it. Let me stay in the game? That is unprecedented. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be enough. That might help, though. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, a little too late. Yeah. So I can make this a guy, right? Block here. Tap. No. Block there. Tap this. Give this +1/+1. Tap this. And I still take 2 and die. Oh. All right. All right. So the draw go deck, it certainly has its merits. And there were some very close games. You know, obviously we had some weird matches. We had some matches where we just didn't draw the cards we specifically needed, or that card advantage didn't really help us. But the deck overall is not actually terrible. I think we need more board control. I don't know in what form we need that. I feel like maybe more capsizes is a possibility. It really stinks to lose the capsize. I mean, I want to be a deck that goes forever. So like playing even slotting in like 1 or 2 green mana into this deck and playing Gaia's Blessings and Intuitions seems like a fine thing to be doing. Even if you're just playing like a couple of forests. And another thing with this deck, you need to be playing Thawing Glaciers if you're going to be playing a mana base that's just all basics like this. Thawing Glaciers is going to help you get to that point where you're able to outcard your opponent as well, because you're going to be not drawing as much land. You're going to get all your land to play. So I think Thawing Glaciers is a big part of what you want for this deck, even though it doesn't help with the like first turn I'm going to play a Force Spike. but like you can even play it later in the game and just accrue value that way. I really like the Teferi's protections. Teferi's response. Those were very useful. I like playing the race game with this deck. I think that I would up to 4 manlands here as well. You just want as many manlands as you can. You might even want to play some number of wastelands in this deck. I don't know. I think there's something here for sure. You said you went 3-1 at your local with this, so there's definitely something here. I think that if we can just tune it a little tighter, get some sort of inevitability, get away for you to win the game without having to rely on your creatures. One, because your creature game isn't super strong, and maybe even like in the board have like a Morphling or something like that against decks that you just want to like close the door against. But overall, this was a really fun deck to play, and you can see I made a few mistakes, but I'm very proficient with the mono blue control deck. That's been my style since time immemorial. Anyhow, Graham, thanks so much for giving us this deck. It was a real blast to play, and yeah, maybe we'll see something new from you next month. Thanks so much for watching.
2-2, let's go. You know, I actually don't. Presumably that matchup is good for us, but like, I don't know. Like, we were underboarded, I think, and I think that they have enough outs. I get that they were missing land drops, and they probably drew like the top the wrong half of their deck there. That's the type of deck where I'm like, I don't know what the actual correct ratio of like payoffs to not payoffs is. But I feel like you are in the market for things like Portent because you really want your A+B. You really need like impulses and portents and stuff to like piece it together. Anyway, we're playing against Quinnipiac for our last match here in the donation deck list with Graham's mono blue no tide deck. I mean, this hand is good if we're playing against creatures. We haven't really been doing that this league. Maybe pre-modern is just sort of off of that for a little bit. I think Rainbow Freed is effectively a mulligan, considering that this can stymie that, but then otherwise just has to be good against creatures. I think we're okay to mulligan this. We have more action. We'll keep this. We'll put the Freet down below, and now we can actually catch something on turn 2. Okay, so this is somebody came in and was not joining us for pre-modern, so we're gonna scratch that one and run it back. The Endure mechanic was, as far as I know, not in pre-modern. We'll take the play against Moloch. Got a mulligan and no lander. Got a mulligan and no blue lander. All right, we'll keep this. The AKs are going to help us rebuild. We'll get rid of that. And, I like having Force Spike as a turn 1 play to curve into, so I get the likelihood that essentially, like, I have a fear of going shield down a lot of the time, and I feel like having Force Spike on 1, our opponent could just do, like, Mox Diamond plus something, and then, we can't mana leak it, and then we're behind, where this prevents that sort of gameplay. Now we'll get to AK. And start rebuilding off this mulligan. Okay, we're playing against a bug deck of some kind. This Hermit Druid's going to get Force Spiked. So now we're shields down. We're not going to present it that way, but we are. So if they just have another Hermit Druid like they do, we're just boned. So now I don't think we have an out. I think we're just dead if they flip their library because they had double Druid. The natural double Drew. So we're mostly at instant speed, right? There's nothing that matters here. I thought I put the Rainbow Freet down on the bottom. That must have been last game. Or that must have been the match we just like conceded around. So a bop is fine. That's not something that we're gonna look for a counterspell over. Okay. You're gonna do it during their end step. Seeing this, this matchup is very unlikely to come down to these two things attacking, so Rainbow Freet would be nice if it was anything else. We'll just hold up Exclude and Force Spike. I assume that the library is going to get flipped. Apparently not. I'm not exactly sure what this is suggestive of. Like, do I exclude this? Probably. Like, let's use our mana and get to a powder keg. I get that Nomad's Encore is probably not a relevant thing because they already have a way to flip their library. But we'll take it where we can get it. I don't know if that Force Spike should be safe. It's my inexperience with something like this. I don't know exactly what the critical spells are going to be. I need more practice learning this stuff. What could I possibly draw off of this third AK that I would care to do? I guess AK, depending on what they do. Oh, I should have actually probably AK'd main phase because if I want to play a keg, I need to play a keg. Probably a punt. They're sitting back on this druid, though. I'm not exactly sure what for. Okay. I think we can let Wall of Blossoms touch. Hold up forbid for if there's anything like a survival of the fittest or something like that. A nomads. I'm going to discard with buyback. It's possible that I'm not supposed to pitch the Rainbow of Freet, but I don't see this game happening because we win. I see the game happening because they mill their library and kill us. So now they get to Cabal Therapy away this forbid, but like that wouldn't have mattered anyway. How do they win though? They just have Wreck put something back on the bottom of their deck in their upkeep and kill us on that. So I should have fought over the Wall of Blossoms maybe. They can strip the Capsize, they can strip the forbid if that's going to be something that's disruptive to them. This Hermit Druid is doing nothing better anyway. But what could they... Frozen Reclamation, put something down. They put back a Reanimate and then reanimate something. Where's the payoff for the Dragon's Breath? Oh, a Terravore. Okay, so they're going to reanimate a Terravore as an 18/18 Dragon's Breath, in which case putting up blockers is not going to be enough because the Crows and Wreck puts how many back? It shuffles up to 2 cards from their graveyard back into their deck, but they have 4 cards. They play a land. Land Terravore. That gives us a turn cycle, maybe? So the Crows and Wreck, they've only put back 2 cards. Cabal Therapy, getting rid of the thing. Cabal Therapy themselves, Sutured Ghoul. That was the thing that wasn't there. So they reanimate Sutured Ghoul, and then Dragon's Breath gives it haste, is that right? Transient creature has haste. It already has trample, and it certainly is enough. Sutured Ghoul is certainly enough to get through. Something happened. Where did it go? So it just disappeared. Forgot to click on creatures. Okay, so I think in this position, though, how big would it have been? You guys might not be able to see this, but I'm asking my opponent right now to make it easy on our life to just ask how big it was. It's 19 damage. I have to assume that because our Capsize is in our graveyard, that we won't be able to bounce it. So it eats 2 Verivores, so it has 40 power. So yeah, there's no way that it would have been enough. So they would have gotten that win. We bring in these Furnaces. Fairy's Response is not going to do anything. I think Quicksand is not going to do anything. Maybe a Dust Bowl because they're entirely non-basic. So if we can just not die that way, that's nice. I could see a world where I should have looked at their deck a little bit more, but like post board, I have to assume that they are on like some kind of enchantment, something or other. Am I more interested in Quicksands as things to trade with their lands, or am I more interested in more nulls? I could see a world where like Dominate taking their birds is appealing. Impulse might be a little too slow for me in terms of what we need it to do. I get that we can be passive, but like they're a combo deck and then we need ways to remove it from the table. So like 4 mana Dominate, take their thing, like it's 4 mana as opposed to this 2 mana, 2 mana. All right, let's try that. Again, I think we're probably in a world like we're probably underserved against a deck like this without any like Tormod's Crypts or anything like that. We only have the Furnaces, and the Furnaces are just not nearly sufficient. We're certainly going to keep this on the back of a furnace. One must assume that they bring in some disenchant effects, but they are also a Cabal Therapy duress deck, so I think we're going to be better served just putting it on the table. Maybe not, maybe so, but either way. I don't think that this by itself would be enough to, blank this deck by any means. Okay, so we're just straight dead next turn. Yeah, if they just have breakfast on turn 1, turn 2, we didn't find one of our many a counterspell, so I guess in response to a Crozen Reclamation, we potentially have outs. Looks like we're going to get to... Nope. What would they Cabal Therapy in this position? Like, if they take the AKs, like, okay, you took the AKs? I guess if they were to sack a Birds of Paradise... I think we assume that they name some sort of counterspell type thing. They're not going to name AK. Yeah. And then we get to try and Phyrexian Furnace. If they want to like try and use one of these creatures as a way to strip one of these things, then I guess we could cycle an AK. If they don't do that, yeah. So now it's like, okay, they're probably just going to take the Dismiss. So I'll fire off an AK because, they're just going to take Dismiss. Oh no, they take the second AK. Okay. I guess they're in the market for beating us next turn instead. I guess I shouldn't... I mean, if their plan was to take the AK, then it was correct to fire off the first one. Okay, just playing another island out rather than Quicksand. This game is not about attacking. So they know about these 3 cards. Dismiss, Quicksand, and Annul. There's, I don't know, 0% chance that we're likely to win this game. Certainly not now that they have a Cephalid Illusionist. Okay, so they just had a natural turn 3. Okay, so again, it's not deterministic. We hold up Phyrexian Furnace, and they have to do this at every click. So I'm always going to yield to the Nomads, but I'm not going to always yield to the Illusionist. Oh no, I want to turn off that. That's the other way around, actually. Stop yielding to this. Always yield to that. Is there anything here that matters? Not yet. This is an instance where it's like if they hit the fatty before the Crozen Wreck, then we get to strip it with the Furnace. It's the old surgical bit from Surgical with Cabal Therapy bit from Legacy. We could also take this Dragon's Breath, and then that opens up a window for us. Is that the line? No, they're flashback here on black-white mana. They have to be moving to, what? Ancient Grudge, right? So they milled over Terravor. So they're reanimating the Terravor, which is currently a 10/10, as bait. Not that it would be fast enough, but do we board in the Dominates? We did. Okay, so we have Dominate. What could we do here? Do we have to strip? If we use this Phyrexian Furnace and then draw a counterspell, we can counter the Crozen Wreck, but they could also just fire off some more Cabal Therapies first. But I don't know. I don't think we can beat in this position. I don't think we can beat a 10/10. I mean, it'll be bigger because they can mill a couple more if they want to. So it's a 2-turn clock either way, but I don't think we can beat that. So I think we have to, unfortunately... Okay, that's good. So now we can play a Dust Bowl, hold open, dismiss. I don't know if holding open, dismiss is correct, but we can do it. I'm certainly not going to tap out to cut mana in this position. Well, they know about dismiss. They know about dismiss, which they're going to take. So do we just dismiss it? Do I Dust Bowl? If I Dust Bowl, they just float them in and it doesn't matter anyway. Was I supposed to Dust Bowl in the main phase? All right, well, they know about the dismiss. They're going to take it anyway. I don't think we win if they see our hand and just take the dismiss, so might as well use it to dig a little deeper, because I don't think this game is going to be won through Dust Bowling. Although, I guess like we could have cut them off double green. Maybe that was the line. Maybe here they're going to get to go untap Crozen Wreck. And I was supposed to just cut them off of green sources instead. I can cut them off of one green source. I can cut them off of... So we can cut them off of one... We can cut them off the City of Brass and then hold up Force Spike. They can also just... They're going to take the Force Spike with the Cephalid Illusionist. They know about a null, so it's a freebie. They'll probably name something that they actually care about. They named Counterspell. Take this, name Force Spike. Okay, so they're casting with Flashback, targeting Reanimate and Reanimate, so only 2 cards. Okay, so our best draw is another Furnace. I guess another Counterspell. It's multiple Counterspells is our best draw. Cabal Therapy, they take Force Spike. Now we're sitting here with a hand that doesn't do anything. Island wasn't it. So they just cast Reanimate on their Suture Girl, and we die. Reanimate targeting Terravor. 1919, Dragon's Breath. Oh, mana value of 6 or greater. Okay, so they're giving us a draw step. They're giving us a full draw step. Dismiss wasn't it, but that's interesting. All right, good games. So, there you go. Unfortunately, a 1-4 performance with your boy. Man, it would be nice if I could win some games of Magic, wouldn't it? But not to be ever. But what we got here is, like, I had a good time with this deck. I think that, like, where I would go with it if I was trying to like stay away from Parallax Tide, which is really hard. Like you're making a concession voluntarily to like be a worse deck because Parallax Tide is just the obviously more powerful thing to do, but it's also like the less fun thing to do because it's like, you know, it's Parallax Tide. But I think that there is room for improvement if we wanted to like operate. Like I get the dream of this deck is just like your opponent never gets to, you know, resolve anything. We cast a Rainbow Freet, don't care about stuff. But we saw that like with Rainbow Freet is the only thing. Like if we ever get to a position in the game where it's like you don't want to have to spend a bunch of mana on, or a bunch of counter spells on their removal spells. That's like the whole crux of the deck is not having to do that. And then to get to a point where we have double blue, you know, however many counter spells they have, like getting to those points in the game is just like the opponent will just end the game for us before we ever get to that point. You know what I mean? Like their combo will go off, or like, you know, they'll resolve their 4 mana spell that ends the game on the spot. So like, I don't see this as like a viable thing to do, even though it is sweet as fuck. I think otherwise, though, what I notice is like we just need stuff to like be able to reclaim the narrative. So like against decks that essentially can get under the counter magic. Like if anything ever touches the table, like we're just really heavily reliant on powder keg, or the capsize to solve it, or the dominate to solve it. But like these are all like one shot things that are not going to solve all of our problems. And then same thing like as we saw that game against the stuff. It's like we clearly are targeting certain things, but like between powder keg and dominate, and Phyrexian Furnace against like Call the Herds and stuff like that, but against all in graveyard based decks like Replenish, or like what we Full English like we just saw, or no, that was just Cephalo Breakfast, but like the big graveyard decks, I think like you want to have some sort of action like Tormod's Crypts to just like take the narrative back, like compel them to have to do that, and then you can protect that queen piece, or make them have to pivot if they're capable of pivoting. In which case we would then have to be considerate of like how they would pivot, and then be like, okay, well then we can bring in the dominates to take your Terra Voids at the position where you have to pivot, but you're also going to be relatively anemic if you're not milling yourself, because we have the Tormod's Crypts, but Tormod's Crypts also being a way to just like 0 mana kill a Terravore is really good, and Terravore is super popular right now. I think that like the holes for this deck are pretty obvious. It's enchantments. It's anything that can go under. Like we didn't play against anything that was even remotely interested in doing anything red. So like it's possible that like the way to beat goblins, it's like, I don't know if we need all these blast effects, if like stuff like burn is just going to be non-existent. It's just so much sideboard space for that matchup, and it's like the you want the blue blast pretty much only for the lackey draw. But like you have the quicksands on the play, and then you have 4 spikes or Mistress Factories to block on the draw. Maybe there's something more to be said, like maybe you play the additional quicksand if that's the thing that you care about. That way you can free up a little bit more space. I can see a world where like we're not on the mainland creatures, but on some sort of alternate win condition plan, because there were a couple of positions where like the lack of blue hurt. There were positions where the coming into play tapped on Fairy Conclave hurt. I could see like there's room for improvement is what I'm saying. But like I like this type of thing. It's my type of jam. I think we can just like solve the problems that are otherwise, sort of disrespectful of counter magic. The stuff that is either very cheap and goes under us. The stuff that just like goes essentially the decks that like play towards beating up the mana base. In which case it's like we're on the presumption that we're just going to get to have mana to cast our spells. And if we're in that position with a relatively empty board, we're going to be okay. But if we're pressured on either of those angles, like we have the stack reasonably covered, but if we're pressured either on our mana base or we're pressured early on board, those are 2 chokeholds that we now have to like compensate for, which puts just a lot of burden on our powder kegs, or hopefully our Mistress Factories just get to interact as a block in some capacity. Or we're hoping that we can like, sort of line things up with like AKs, drawing enough AKs over the course of a game that we can reload after we've exchanged a bunch of mana. But like then we have to play like a bunch of land, like additional lands, because we can never miss a land drop. And even if we don't miss land drops, like we might draw like Mistress Factory Island, in which case we're never actually going to cast a spell. So like there's some thresholds where we need to like solve for. I thought Dismiss was underwhelming. It was just really expensive, and when we did get to convert it, it didn't feel like it was super powerful. I could see a world where like we don't necessarily like. I could see like not wanting to play like the Gush Foil stuff because like you're trying to do something cool, but like I could definitely see a world where like Gush Foil is just like the way to actually maintain pace with the format, because we're going to need a way to like prevent them from getting under us, and the way that we can do that is through foils as the free counterspell. We saw that we got bodied by a misdirection. They just had free counter magic where we did not. So if they're going to, like, they were a matchup where, yes, they're playing combo pieces and whatnot, but they were able to get ahead of us on mana, and they were able to get under us on free ways to interact on the stack via misdirection. And so, again, it's just like 2 points of access where, like, we're not going to have time to actually convert any of our spells because we died too soon. And that's a bottleneck for all control decks. Like, you need to be able to solve for the ways that, the backbone of a deck can't, which, this is a deck with all counter magic. It's what, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 counter spells. So we're 27 lands, 18 counter spells, and then stuff. So like if something just doesn't care or gets under 18 cards in our deck, and then also like the lands are insufficient at solving whatever our problem is, like Dust Bowl can't solve it or whatever, then it's like, okay, that leaves such little room for us to do anything, and it puts so much burden on Powder Kegs, and Powder Keg itself is already pretty slow. So not to like pick this thing apart, I really, really, really do enjoy this type of thing. I think that like coming back, Graham, when you come back and bring this thing again, I'd look at places to like improve on what impulse could be. I think that like it just never actually was helping us find, like if we needed to find it, it was just like sort of a redundant thing. And if this is always going to be looking for a counter, if this is looking to be a counterspell powder keg split card, I think that like the mana, spending more mana on our stuff that is already slow is, you know, like we're going to impulse needing to find a thing that is not going to be able to solve the problem that is now presented. Whereas like if we needed this to be a split card, then it's like, okay, maybe this is just like 2 Navinrul's discs and another counterspell, or you know, these are merchant scrolls to actually find, you know, something that we need, or if it were instant speed and it's, you know, we want to lean on AKs as more things than we like play intuitions or something. I don't know, but like I think that like impulse feels pretty anemic in a deck that is this redundant. Without like any ways to like recycle or anything like that, where like your deck is getting more dense with spells after the fact, like if you're in a Blessing build or a Felden's Cane build or something like that. I could also see like maybe these, I don't know exactly like what the option is, but like these could all be something different. I think like the Annul Main is fine. Teferi's Response felt bad the whole league. Even when we converted it, we still lost to the blow up your lands deck. So like this sort of stuff, you know, I get that they're sort of tied to impulse and that you think we can find that stuff on time. But anyway, I don't want to reiterate the same thing, but like, I like what we got. I do like what we got. I think that there's, you know, we can shore up some of these matchups that we lost. Like it felt like we were bullied in a lot of the matchups, and I feel like we can just make some separate card choices to have that not be the case. I could see there's a bunch of infinite avenues in pre-modern for like where to go with this type of thing. And I'm excited to see what you do with it. So this was Graham's donation, No Blue Tide donation deck list. If you want to submit a deck list for a donation deck, just hit us up on patreon.com/Eternal Durdles, where you can find the Patreon donation deck list tier to get a donation deck list every month. Or more than that. You know, we can figure it out. Message us on Discord. Zach can play your deck. I can play your deck. We can both play your deck. If you want to write for EternalDurdles.com, you can hit me up on any social media at Force of Phil. I'm happy to write about anything, or I'm sorry, I'm happy to publish anything that you write about pre-modern, legacy, vintage, any Eternal format, really, a tournament report, a deck primer, ideas on certain underexplored cards, literally any idea. We're happy to publish you on the site and get your voice out there. But until then, I am Forceville. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey, if you enjoyed this episode, hit the subscribe button.
You can also support us on patreon.com/Eternal Durdles, which now offers the new deck donation tier.
During July, the deck donation patrons will get a 2-for-1 special, where both Phil and I will run your deck through a league.
I'll play literally whatever you want.
So brew your spiciest or stock us up with a stock list.
I'll literally play whatever you want.
Thanks for watching.